Billy Bob Thornton brings back his most beloved character for another film about America's most beloved sport, Fighting Night Carl.
Mm-hmm. I reckon on fourth down you ought to punt.
It's Billy Bob Thornton as Carl from Sling Blade, coaching high school football.
I call it a tailback. Some folks call it a halfback. I call it a tailback. Mm-hmm.
Fighting Night Carl will make a quarterback sneak into your heart.
I read the rule book. I studied on it quite a bit. It says a man ought not to block another man from behind on a kickoff return. Mm-hmm.
And don't miss Coach Carl's inspirational halftime pep talk.
If you boys win this here football game, we're all going to go out for biscuits and mustard. I like biscuits and mustard. Mm-hmm.
Fighting Night Carl, rated PG-13.
I reckon no youngin' under the age of 13 ought to see this movie without their mommy or daddy. Mm-hmm.
10:45 at 560 WQM. Happy Election Day. The Secretary of State from Iowa was on there on CNN, who looks very enthusiastic. He's a Democrat, so he's very excited. 70 to 75% turnout in Iowa, they're predicting today. Unprecedented.
Huh.
Unprecedented. State after state, breaking all-time records. In fact, he said they registered an additional 20,000 people right at the very ass end there in Iowa, and that they've got even registration, 600,000 Democrats, 600,000 Republicans registered, and like 70 to 75% turnout expected today. They're just coming out in droves all over the country. This must be because they're happy. They like the way things are. I don't think so.
They want to keep things going. They're so
right. They're happy with the status quo, as it rhymes with no. We'll see. Line 9, WQAM. Hello.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Neil?
Yes, it is.
Oh, what's up? Well, I was just calling because I'm on the internet, and I was trying to get you online, and I can't hear you.
We're not streaming yet?
We are as of right now.
As of right now, we are.
Check it now.
Okay.
So go, when in doubt, check it out, okay? Get back to your thing and look at a few we got Amber Smith. I can mention that without going into the whole song and dance. I let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. Amber Smith behind the beaded curtain today while you're listening to the audio. And we are streaming as of right now, okay? So just relax. They're a little bit slow there in the other room, and that's because it took a while to get the operations manager off of Robert, but once we did.
Robert's not here today.
Maybe off who was in there?
New guy.
Oh, like I said. WQAM, hello.
Todd.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Go Kerry. Listen, you said yesterday that you were surprised by Jimmy Buffett campaigning for Kerry.
I always thought he was a Republican, Jimmy Buffett.
No, I've been a fan and know him casually. He's always been a liberal Democrat.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Where did I get that from?
I don't know. He used to trash Anita Bryant in his songs and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
that's because
been at
the
it
Key
for a
West
long
factory
time.
didn't want to piss off his constituents in the Keys,
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. He was just sucking up, so to speak.
No, he's always been a liberal Democrat.
Well, good for him. Now I'm going to go out and eat a couple of cheeseburgers in paradise right after the show.
There you go.
Thanks for the good news, Pally.
All right, bye.
And have a great day. I didn't know that. I thought he was for whatever reason. I don't know.
Because he's the rednecky thing, Key West, Montana, you think.
Yeah, rednecky thing. That rednecky thing. There ain't too many Democrat rednecky things. They might be, but they like keep it in the closet a lot. Other things, too. WQAM, hello.
Yeah.
One stats of putts. Why were they doing that? I loved it, though. 41 to 14. It might as well have been 81 to zip. That's the kind of contest you had. And Jay Fiedler, he may be a very nice guy, but he really blows. You know, he is pathetic. How many interceptions did he throw again last night?
About 30, man.
Jesus. What? He's pathetic. He's awful.
Yeah.
He's grotesque. And let me ask you, Josh, how come they left him in there the whole game? I mean, at halftime it was still competitive. It was, what was it, only 14-7 or something like that at halftime, 17-7?
Yeah, but it was probably a dignity thing.
A dignity thing? I didn't know he went to that church.
Once that was afraid he'd be called anti-Semitic if he pulled him out.
No, if you go to the Dignity Church, you're called blaming. WQAM, hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Happy Election Day.
I voted last week, and I tried to get you.
Yeah.
When I touched the screen for Kerry,
yes.
I had to touch it 3 times for the X to drop in Kerry's box.
Yeah, and if you touch it 4 times, John Ashcroft will have the Gestapo at your door checking out what you're touching. Yeah, trust me. You're laughing, but you better not answer the door for a week.
Okay, Neil. I just wanted to alert you on that.
Make sure it counts. That's the bottom line. Make sure it counts. Bang it, slap it, smack it.
Okay, man. Have a good day.
Thanks, Pally. All right, you too. Yeah, see, these people, it's good. This is why we do this on Election Day especially, is that we get the the electoral crowd out there. Yeah. Well, they finally decided that Tony Knowles is a Democrat. They've been showing the wrong parties on there on CNN every time they show the Alaska Senate race, and they've got Murkowski as a Democrat, which of course she's not. She's the daughter of the very unpopular governor, and she's a Republican, and she might get her ass kicked up there in Alaska. Don't forget Betty Castor, by the way. I know she's not all that popular, and probably not all that bright either when you come right. That's bad. We love Betty Castor, right?
Yes.
She's great.
She's not whatever his name is.
Mel Martinez.
Mel.
Keep in mind, okay,
Martinez's.
Mel rhymes with bad smell, as in you can smell the aroma coming from that spot on the ballot. Don't get sucked into that crap just because his name ends in a Z, in a Z. Don't do it. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir, Election Central.
Washington Central.
Yeah, Washington Central.
I got the wrong number. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry. Thank God that the intellectuals all over the country are voting today. Bloop, 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 bloop. That's right. You don't have to be smart. Just barely breathing and we'll let you vote. See, I'm tempted to get into some of these other things, but we got 7 minutes. We can handle it, plus the 3-minute break. We only got 4 minutes, and then we can get into the real show. Because I'm tempted to mention about that damn Supreme Court and how they keep sticking their finger in it again. Although Rehnquist, it looks like, is really on the way out. They're finally admitting that he's got like a very, very rare and very serious form of thyroid cancer.
Gee.
And when in doubt, poor Billy Rehnquist looks like he might be on the way out, is what we're thinking.
I think God's punishing him.
The whole Supreme Court. Did you see that, 4 of them got cancer already, including Sandra Gay O'Connor?
Oh, good. She's my
Speaking
favorite.
of that, I wonder how the Cheney's Bull Dyke daughter is holding up on Election Day. You know, Mary, that Bull Dyke daughter of the Dick and Lynn Cheney? That's the same Lynn Cheney that was writing them steamy Bull Dyke novels back in the 80s. Maybe there was something relevant to you see the way
It's
that
not
all
nice
fits
to call
together?
her that.
She's gay, fair gay.
Yeah, but they like to be called Daughters of Lesbos.
WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, a while back I was on that fundraise.org that you were talking about. I
Yeah.
looked up Jimmy Buffett,
Mm-hmm.
and he gave $2,000 to Bob Graham.
See what I tell you. But so did Jim Mandich.
And then I looked it up by address, and they must have the same attorney because Barbara Streisand, a whole bunch of other musicians, all gave from the same address out in L.A.
Uh-huh.
So I just want to let you know that. And
Well, when you think of Barbara Streisand, you think of Jimmy Buffett, don't you?
oh yeah,
Neither one of them can sing a lick. Okay,
but
thanks
they
a
must
lot,
all have
Pally.
the same attorney though.
Well, that's good news. They'll need it. Thank you. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. 11 o'clock we'll start the show formal. If anybody's not in tune with the way we do this every day, because Stern ends whenever he feels like it. Aren't you kind of surprised he ended early today?
Yeah, I am, really. Why? Why do you think?
Well,
So
no,
he could
I don't
go
know.
vote?
Maybe he had to go out there and vote several times is what he said he was going to do. I don't get that. Even the grumpy old Don Imus, the I-Man, voted for Kerry. Very enthusiastic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's never enthusiastic about anything.
Right. Well, how
But,
could
I mean,
you be?
relatively speaking, he was like ebullient about it. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir. Election headquarters.
How you doing, man?
All right.
Listen, one of my parents works at the Kerry campaign, helping volunteer at one of the polls.
Right.
And they already had shut down one of the Bush people because they were in there trying to intimidate people while they were voting.
Good. I hope they dragged him out of there and tar and feathered their ass on the way out of town.
They got the lawyers over there, and then someone from the campaign headquarters came over in the elections, and they told them, get out.
Good. Excellent. Excellent news.
People got to get out and vote, man.
Thanks for the good news, Pally.
All right, bye.
Yeah, when in doubt, take those challengers, those Republicans that are trying to suppress the vote and kick their ass out in spite of that Supreme Court ruling in Ohio. To hell with it. In addition to which, let me say it again, I know that this is really an embarrassment to the U.S. of A. since Americans generally think they're so superior to the rest of the world, including mostly Americans who've never been out of their 2 blocks away from their hometown. But fact of the matter is we got international observers. For the first time in the history of America, we have international observers monitoring this election.
Ay, qué pena.
Because when it comes to elections in America, man, don't trust it. Question it, smell it, sniff it, examine it, put the stethoscope right up into the
Rectum
of the whole situation. That's right, I'm serious. Where's Dick Daley when we need him, you know? In fact, as they say at Pompano Park, where's Dan Daley when you need him?
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Fiedler is dumb, and Dave Wanstead is dumb.
Absolutely.
Martha, Martha, you're going away. That orange jumpsuit gonna look so great. You're not like any prisoner who's come before. You're gonna give your cell a whole new decor. Martha, you got a number. They're gonna lock your door. Martha, your prison number 551-70054. 551-70054. 551-70054. 551-70054. Martha, Martha, it's such a big shame.
11:01 at 560 WQM. Happy Election Day. Get out there and vote if you're for Kerry. If you're Bush, stay home and drink a whole bunch of crap. Drink a bunch of Jim Beam. Right?
Or rat poison.
Rat poison would be good. Arsenic without the old lace would be excellent, too. We can't afford another 4 years of this doofus and the neocons, okay? And they would very much respectfully like you to get his ass out there before he blows the world up, okay? Which, in other words, today is the day. 2,851 votes on the poll from yesterday. That is a staggering number, you know?
Pretty fat.
Which applies to you. Already voted for Kerry, 1,176, 41.2%. Will vote for Kerry, 1,078. So you add those two together, you got like 79% of this audience. Will vote for Bush, 189. Already voted for Bush, 146. 11.7% of this audience are Bush people. Can't vote, 98. Still don't give a Schmidt, 57. Won't vote, 41. Undecided, 28. Will vote for Nader, 21. Already voted for Nader, 38. We are tracing those votes on our website, by the way. We'll come to your home and break both your kneecaps with a baseball bat. The Nader crowd. 38. That's 1.2%, which is interesting because in the state of Florida, the very last polls, Nader is polling a little under 1%. So we're not that far off. So let's hope that our numbers here mirror exactly what's going to happen in South Florida, right?
Right.
I think this is accurate. 79% for Kerry, 11% for Bush, and about 1% for Nader. That sounds about right.
Sure.
For rational people out there. I mean, I don't want to intimidate or anything like that, but if you vote for Bush, you're not going to, all the Comet Cleanser, all the detergents in the world, even those antibacterials that they have out now, that's not going to wash all the blood off your hands, okay? Because if you voted for Bush last time, you have a chance to redeem yourself now.
Right.
But if you do it again, you're going to have blood on your hands the rest of your life. Amber Smith is behind our beaded curtain today. John Ashcroft ain't too happy about it because he sees those boobies on there, and it makes him want to grab something.
Oh, my God.
No, not what you're thinking. It makes him want to grab one of them drapes and just shovel over her.
And drape her
right.
with it.
Anyway, Amber Smith was born March 2, 1972. She was chosen by Esquire magazine as the first Vargas girl of the 1990s. Now, her filmography goes on for like ever. Dead End, New Suit, Reasonable Doubt, How High, Tomcats, Deception, Dirk and Betty, The Midnight Hour, American Beauty, of course, The Rat Pack, Mars, Laws of Deception, Lowball. Wonder what that was all about.
I don't know.
Sleeping Together, How to Be a Player, L.A. Confidential, Private Parts, that was Howard Stern's movie, Red Shoe Diary 7, Mirror Has Two Faces, The Funeral, Faithful, Inferno, etc. and so on. Also was on Howard Stern, March 2001, playing with her, or just playing herself. She was on Silk Stockings. God, did I love that show. I really liked the show. I just like, what was his name?
I don't know.
The short hair? Whatever his name was. So there you go. Amber Smith is on our beaded curtain today to give you a little something extra to titillate and stimulate. Now, here's today's poll, which I don't know. I didn't want to do a poll that was all that good, so I didn't. Well, no, the one we did yesterday, I think maybe we should have just left that on there, but what's the point? The percentages don't change that much in this crowd. Which state do you think will be most crucial in this election? Now, we know which one they're going to say, right?
Right. That's what I said.
Right. Florida.
Third.
So, and I think we need to add 3 to this list, Josh, before you start getting busy putting calls on hold. Oh, look at that. He's already got... That is incredible. Wow. Practice makes perfect. In fact, you might enjoy doing this so much today, you want to do it every day again.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No. Which state do you think will be the most crucial in this election? Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Hawaii, which even though it's only got 4 electoral votes, is showing a dead heat. Who knows if we get down to that real light, you know what I'm saying? Don't know, don't care, and then I've added 3 more that you need to put on there. New Jersey, Michigan, and Iowa, which I think Kerry's going to win all 3 of those. I'm very, very confident about Jersey and Michigan. Iowa, based on that Secretary of State guy they had on before that says they got record-breaking turnout in Iowa, 70 to 75%. They got 95% of the eligible voters registered, and 70 to 75% are going to show up today in Iowa. Heavy turnout, not good for Bush. Just remember that. Bad for Bush. Right?
Right.
Keep it in mind.
Very bad.
Before you vote again. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good, Pally.
I just want to let you know, me and my wife voted for Kerry.
All right.
And the reason why
Did you vote today or did you vote early?
No, I voted today.
And how was the traffic? Were a lot of people in line?
No, it was pretty smooth. We were pretty surprised. We got right in there and got right out, and we're real happy with that.
Okay.
Over there off of Pembroke Pines in the senior center. But anyways,
oh, that's right. They're not awake yet over there. They're busy eating their Wheatina in Cemetery Village.
Exactly. But I just want to say one thing. I'm not associated with the military or anything like that, but I have gone on your website and I have seen. I've also listened to people from the military who've been wounded, injured, or for life. And you know, one thing about me, I am a big war movie buff. But one thing is, I would not want to be in the movie. You know what I'm saying, Neil?
Yeah.
So, you know.
Okay, good job, Pally. Whatever he said, I don't know what he said.
Oh, I just didn't know how to express it, but
I understand what he's saying, and which one of you lunatics out there wants to sacrifice your son or daughter for a war that's being fought based on a pack of lies? You see, this is the saddest thing. The rest of the world understands this, and I think most of the people, educated people around the world who understand what's going on, would agree with us, and that is that here is a man who ought to be facing impeachment proceedings right now, and instead he's a hairbreadth away from getting reelected for another 4 years. There is something very, very wrong with this picture. There's something desperately wrong. Now, the media we can blame for a big part of it. There's no question about that. And I'm going to tell you who's a real jackass, who needs to be outed as the piece of crap that he really is, and that is Bob Schieffer on CBS, who actually got to moderate that third debate. Bob Schieffer is a Texan who's a good friend of the Bush family, okay? Mm-hmm. Were you aware of that?
No.
Yeah. And last night, Dan Rather's got him on the CBS Evening News, and Dan gives him the big, I guess they're CBS trying to, save their ass now so they don't get fined anymore for that Rathergate. Well, we turn now for a little critical analysis for one of the real experts for over 30 years now, and yada yada, our own Bob Schieffer. When I heard that, I nearly puked up my Wheatina myself. And then he comes on and goes on about, but it doesn't say a damn thing. And then he says New Jersey, though. He says if it's very close, or if you see the early returns that Bush is winning New Jersey, it could be a very, very long night for John Kerry. And that was his analysis. It could be a very long night for John Kerry, as opposed to saying all of the trends over the last couple of days, all of the polls in the battleground states are now showing Kerry ahead in most of them, and but absolutely nothing, because the true colors of Bob Schieffer come out there at the end. Another one of these phony media shills who puts on this air of, well, he's a great journalist and he's nonpartisan. You're full of crap. You're a bushlicker is what you are, Bob Schieffer. You're a phony. The CBS eye is shedding tears for your sorry ass. Phony baloney. New Jersey, my fat ass. I'll bet Greg Reed's life on it right now that John Kerry wins New Jersey tonight. How do you like that? Just mark that down. Here's Weston. Hello.
Hello,
Weston.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
Hey, I have an observation throughout these two campaigns. I don't know if you noticed too. Did you notice that all the Kerry rallies were held like in city streets and intersections and public parks?
Right.
And Bush's
Outdoors.
rallies were all held like in auditoriums and gymnasiums. And
where they could heavily control the crowd and who gets let in. Oh, sure, that's the whole deal.
So I mean,
that's the way fascism works, Pally.
That's what I was trying to get at. I mean, you could always walk into a Kerry rally, but you can never walk into a Bush rally.
That's correct.
Hey, one more thing. I got a friend who was extremely torn apart, undecided about his vote, and I guess CBS 60 Minutes ran something Sunday night, and he's voting for Kerry now. I think they ran something about armored vehicles.
Yeah, about the fact that our military that they weren't they weren't giving them the equipment that they need.
Well,
and Kerry's been screaming about that for the last month.
Well, at least I know for a fact that it got one vote.
Excellent. Nice job, Pally.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Cross your legs. Let's see. Here's a fax from Jackie who says the Hard Rock Casino. Oh, yeah, I should mention this again today since everybody's voting. Don't just overlook some of those amendments, even if you don't care about the other ones. Amendment 4 is a no-brainer. And again, more dirty tricks are going to be going on that one. You must vote yes on Amendment 4 because the slot machines at the pari-mutuels doesn't mean any new gambling facilities anywhere in town, in South Florida, anywhere in the state. What it does do is guarantee, and I do mean guarantee. We've been hearing those ads we've been running, and I read that story a few days ago. They put it in writing. They guarantee the state education money, big money. We're talking about hundreds of millions and eventually billions of dollars for education, which gets divvied up over the entire state. The only reason that it's on the ballot statewide is because it's a constitutional amendment and it has to be passed statewide, and then the voters in Dayton Broward get to vote on a local referendum to see if they want to allow the pari-mutuels to have the slot machines, those evil one-hour bandits. Anyway, Jackie says, the Hard Rock Casino put a vote no on 4 in every employee's paycheck. They must be afraid the tracks will pay higher wages and better health benefits. Also, employees would be able to pursue sexual harassment suits in a state not with a tribal court. Says Jackie. See that? So the people that are telling you vote no on 4 and all about the evil things that are going to happen with those slot machines, it's going to bring in drugs and violent crime and the mafia, they're crazy people, and all they're doing is just trying to... See, this is the whole thing about elections, is that the people who have no real argument, all they want to do is scare people, like the Bush people. They want to scare you, like Cheney running around. Well, if the voters make the wrong decision, we could get hit again. I mean, the things that he's been saying, Dick Cheney, just unbelievable. You know, the one with the bull-dyke daughter, Mary? The things he's been saying are just... And the media, again, gives him basically a free pass. The fearmonger. That's all they got. Name-calling and fearmongers and distorting people's record. They got nothing to run on their own record on because it sucks. It's pathetic. It's a humiliation and it's degrading. But the people who are telling you to vote no on Amendment 4 are the Mickey Arison people, you know? You know, Mickey Withers for a man. If we ever do wind up with full casinos in Florida, Bahama's out of business. Nobody in their right mind would go back there. You have to be a lunatic, a maniac. I just mentioned that in passing. So don't get snookered in. Don't get conned with all the scare tactics, because the only thing you're going to have is just a different kind of gambling at places where you've already got gambling. What the hell difference does that make, except, of course, it means a lot of revenue for education, a lot of revenue for the horse owners and people in the industry, a better quality of racing by far, which, can revitalize harness and thoroughbred racing in the state. And then, of course, we got the over 275 different mortgage programs available to them. They will find a mortgage for you, no matter what your situation is. Recently, they helped out a listener of ours who never dreamed that he'd be able to qualify to buy his own home. Not only were they able to qualify him, they were able to present him 3 options as to the type of mortgage he could get. And they worked closely with him to determine which one was best, and then they made it happen. That's Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach. You can call them toll-free with positively no obligation. 1-800-734-6616. Whether you're looking for an interest-only loan, maybe a 30-year fixed rate.
About 30, man.
Or one of the many low-rate adjustable mortgages, Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach has exactly what you'd be looking for. They offer payments as low as $332 for every $100,000 you borrow, and Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach can make not only your mortgage happen, but a great cruise can happen to you too, because if you close your loan with Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach, they'll send you on one of 6 different 7-night cruises, your choice, compliments of Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers. Got it? Good. Call them now at 1-800-734-6616. Whether you're looking to buy a new home, just an investment property, or maybe refinance your current mortgage, call them today. On the web, you'll find more information at GuaranteedMortgageBankers.com, where they'll treat you just like family. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach, it's 1-800-734-6616.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Gosh, I don't think I ever said I'm not worried about Osama bin Laden. That's kind of one of those exaggerations. Of course we're worried about Osama bin Laden. We're on the hunt after Osama bin Laden. We're using every asset at our disposal to get Osama bin Laden.
I don't know where he is. Nor, I just don't spend that much time on him, really, to be honest with you. And, again, I don't know where he is. I repeat what I said. I truly am not that concerned about him.
He looked alive and well to me the other day.
Your vote's automatically calculated by computers at the GOP. Manipulated this time. Don't let the fascist neocons screw us again.
I'm dying over here.
The brother governor that's running Florida, no doubt's got a Choose triangle, Bush twins, sure look good. And Coulter snug, my loins with gonorrhea. The Jews killed Christ. The Jews killed Christ. Bush is appointed by God. Back, wacky fancy, crack in your darker than brown, then your vote will get worn out. Round back, fix and for hard votes, raining closet bags. Well, it won't matter who or what you vote, like it's rigged for Bush too. Win in a landslide this time, don't let the fascist neocons screw us again.
By the way, these Republican challengers that will be going in Ohio and other places now, thanks to the Supreme Court in the Ohio case, they're going to have a Darko-meter, and if you're like over a 5 on the Darko-meter,
right.
Remember Johnny Darko?
It's like the
Johnny Darko?
tinted window police. You know, they got that same little thing there.
Right. So in other words, if your skin color is a little bit too dark, then you're going to hear a little sound, which means you better run, boy, or else. That's right.
They have vase.
Here's Miami. Hello. Miami.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, scared of Bush.
He's scared of Bush?
Wanting Americans to vote Bush out and
Yeah,
vote
he's scared
Kerry.
of Bush. Is that why he looked alive and well and healthy and they haven't found him yet because he's so scared of Bush?
Well, that's why he came out. He wanted people to vote for Kerry to get Bush out.
Right, okay, whatever you say. So everybody vote for Kerry.
He's scared of Bush because Bush has done such a good job catching him. Don't you see?
Actually, what Bin Laden said, there was a lot of truth in it, okay? The bozo that left all those thousands of people in the World Trade Center. Mm-hmm. And how was it that the Pentagon got hit? You know, all that time after the towers got hit? How is it that was allowed to happen? Take a look at our website at Pentagon Strike, okay? And by the way, you brainwashed little quisling, get back on a banana boat and go back where you came from, okay? Although I don't think Fidel will let you back in.
There was an interesting call on NPR. Of all places last night. It was a Marine called up and said, I don't understand why all the Bush people say that this, because you posted a lot of stories about how the Bush people are actually excited about the Osama tape.
Because they thought they could exploit it, but it blew up in their face because the only thing it did is remind people of where the real attacks came from. Here's Osama. He didn't look anything like Saddam Hussein to me. Mm-hmm. In fact, after they captured Saddam, and they made a big deal about that, things have gone from bad to much, much worse in Iraq. There are grotesque maimings and killings and bombings every single day there now. 80 to 90 insurgent attacks every single day all over the country. And here is Osama, and just like Kerry's been saying, they took their eye off the ball, just like Bobby Graham said on last night on CNN, and has been saying all along. Instead of really fighting terrorism, what they've done is taken Iraq and turned it into the world's biggest hotbed. It's like a meeting ground. Remember when the 5 families, before your time, they had that big meeting in Appalachian, New York, and the FBI raided it, and they arrested all the heads of the mafia families many, many years ago in upstate New York. Well, this is the same thing. This is like a gathering place for terrorists from all over the Middle East and all over the world now in Iraq, whereas, quite frankly, even though Saddam was a bad man, there's a lot of bad men all over. In fact, most of them we put in power in the first place. Like that Robert Tate's movie that Boca Brian sent me yesterday that I watched. Thanks again, Boca. You're okay once in a while. That was good. Did you watch it?
Yes, I did, and it was good.
Excellent. Pointing out very accurately about the things that we've done, Allende in Chile and in Guatemala and in Panama. We put these guys in there, including Saddam, and when they, when there are dictators, then they're good guys, then they're great, as long as it's for our financial interest. OIL, baby. I told you this 2 years ago. It's all about OIL and MONEY. And people thought, no, you're wrong, Neil. It's got to do with fighting and that's why Bush has made synonymous this business about the war in Iraq and the war on terror, which have absolutely nothing to do with each other. At least they didn't when they went in there with the Iraq attack, but of course now they do because there's terrorism all over Iraq, thanks to the Bushmeister. Before the show is over, don't let me forget.
Okay.
I know it's ponderous, and we got a lot of people who want to call in, and we'll probably get some good information, like the woman reminding people to be sure and check the screen, make sure that the vote's been tabulated before you walk away. It's that Russ Baker article. In 1999, candidate Bush spoke of wanting to invade Iraq if elected. That's, of all the things, of all the ponderous crap that I've read on the air the last couple of months, this one is the jackpot. This one tells you exactly what it is. Pick a place that you think will be like about a 2-day war. You can go in there, you can cherry pick it, and just go in there with. And this is why he told Pat Robertson, don't worry about casualties. There won't be any casualties. He really believed this. This was going to be another Grenada, another Falkland Islands for the Brits. Just a cakewalk. without listening to the generals, without listening to anybody. And that's why I'll get to it. I'll read it. It's pretty scary stuff, and it's right on target. And your mainstream media, they're not going to touch that with a 10-foot you-know-what. Gary in Weston says, could this be the day we finally get rid of the Crawford creep? We can only pray, Gary. I read where Osama plans on bleeding our country into bankruptcy. That's what he's saying now. Sounds like he's positioning himself for a spot in W's cabinet. Yeah, he could be the new Secretary of the Treasury. What's with all this pundit pap where they claim they got the exit polling results wrong last time around? That is such a falsehood. We all know the reason that all the exit polling pointed to a Gore win in Florida was because, guess what? He actually did win Florida based on the exit polling. We know that, Gary. All the old Jews in Palm Beach left the polling place thinking they voted for Gore. When surveyed, probably responded, yeah, we voted for Gore. And then all of a sudden, we voted for Pat Buchanan. Well, don't make the mistake again, okay? Ain't on a ballot this time. Now, here are the first poll results. This always cracks me up, you know. The nation's first Election Day votes were cast and counted just after midnight last night in a pair of mountain hamlets in New Hampshire. They do it every 4 years. 35 votes for Bush and Kerry's 21. Nader received 1 vote. Now, if you're watching Monday Night Football, the end of the game last night, and they showed, did you see that, Josh?
No, I stopped watching the third.
You stopped watching that great game? Oh, I didn't want to miss a minute of that. It was sensational. I was squeezing myself from that game. But, they showed these, yahoos, man, up there in New Hampshire. The first Tuesday votes came from northern New Hampshire community of Hart's location. 16 for Bush, 14 for Kerry, and 1 for Nader. That's pretty close for them mugwumps. Minutes later, the 26 registered voters in Dixville Notch, 50 miles to the north, split 19 for Bush, 7 for Kerry. Now, in 2000, it was Bush over Gore in Hart's location, 17-13. And here it was Bush over Kerry, what was it again? 16-14. See the difference there? It's a two-vote swing. In Dixville Notch in 2000, Bush had 21, Gore only 5, and Nader 1. And now in Dixville Notch, it's 19 for Bush, 2 less, 7 for Kerry, 2 more, and none for Nader. So already he's got a net gain of about 4 or 5 votes there. See it?
I see it.
Let's start counting. We're going to count the votes one at a time. Just like we get listeners here on QAM, we're going to start tabulating the votes one at a time here on your official election headquarters.
I'll go call Google Eye.
And this business about Jeb Bush has got a 70% approval rating in Florida. Every time I hear that, based on what? Based on the fact that he lies a lot? That he's a crook? That he never worked an honest day in his life? Is that what it's all about? That he has devious plans to subvert the will of the electorate? Is that why they like him? God, what is wrong with you people, man? That fat-ass Governor Crook of yours. And let me remind you again, okay, he and Katherine Harris and Theresa LePore, these are people who stole the election right in broad daylight in 2000. Are you going to let them do it again? That's forgetting about any other issue. If that's the only thing that you're concentrating on today when you go to cast your vote, are you going to sit by, you people in Florida, and let them steal another one? There was a guy on MSNBC last night. They were in Rocket. What do they call that? Freedom Square, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
And he had a huge sign, and he kept getting right in front of the camera the whole time they were on for hours and hours. God help us, Bush is trying to steal another election. And you know what, sir, you are?
Absolutely correct, sir.
Well, it ain't going to happen this time. There's that simpering idiot, that simpering closet faggot with his bow tie, Mother Tucker Carlson on CNN with Paul Begala. And Tucker already admitted that Kerry's going to win. No matter what he says on there now, he already admitted that on with Chris Matthews. 27 after 11 at 560 WQM. If your hair is falling out in clumps like Paul Begala's, if you got a big ugly bald spot like Boca Brian. Well, Charles Alfieri's the guy you want to be going to because he's been helping the famous, the in-between, and the infamous for over 30 years now. You wouldn't even recognize Charlie's work when you see it because, guess what? It looks like real hair. Charlie knows, and you ought to too, that the most critical area of any hair system is the hairline. And Charlie's new skin-like hair system is 100% undetectable. The hair looks like it's grown right out of your scalp. Charlie's work is guaranteed, too. You got nothing to lose but that ugly bald spot that makes you look old and grotesque. You try Charlie's system for a month, for about 30 days.
About 30, man.
And after a month, if you don't love the way it looks and feels and smells, you just take it back and say, here's your hair back. Give me my money back. No problem. Make that call today. Tell Charlie you heard about it here on the Neil Rogers Show, and you'll receive your special $200 discount off the regular $800 price of the amazing natural hairline system. Call toll-free 1-800-321-2413. Don't forget, the secret to a really great hair system is make sure nobody can tell you're wearing one because it doesn't look like a dead muskrat. And Charlie's new skin-like hair system is as natural as you can get. Here's that toll-free number again, 1-800-321-2413, 1-800-321-2413, or on the web, charlesalfieri.com.
You're listening to Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
Arizona! and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
Anytime they see that we're lagging in the polls, they provide a headline that will lead you by the nose. Who say they said is the one to get? Now they have only one big potato left. Don't worry about Saddam, we got him. Now we're all healthy and safe. We got him. We won't attack us no more. We got him. Praise Bush like Jesus. Who say 9/11 is what they got you to believe? Can't get any dumber than a one-party country. You believe what they say, like the gullible fool as they use the state. You gotta get down on your knees. You gotta
27 till noon at 560 WQAM. Get out there and do your civic duty and vote for John Kerry. 269 votes on the poll. Which state do you think will be the most crucial in this election? Florida, what did I tell you, 151. They're probably right. And don't forget, you won't be getting no Florida results till 8 o'clock because, see, a lot of people think Florida's in the Eastern time zone. Well, guess what? Well, most of it is.
Right.
But not the pan. Hawaii 4, Wisconsin a pair, Michigan 1 for Iowa, and nobody says Jersey. Nobody, except, of course, for Bob Schieffer. The day before the election, the candidates know.
Right.
Because they have their own internal polling.
Oh, sure.
Now, they don't know for sure who's going to show up, but especially now that we have all the early voting going on, and we have this massive turnout.
Common sense and truth back into the decisions of this nation.
There you go. Nice going, John. You go, boy. Howard Dean will be 20 points ahead. Anyway, with less than 12 hours before the polls open, Republicans laid the groundwork for a possible legal challenge to the presidential election with an 11th hour law they had. That's why they condition the American public with these 85,000 terror alerts with Tom Ridge and his yellow light and red light and pink light. Bull crap. Oh, and do I have a thing on here now? I'm going to try to get this to Eric during the break from Mother Jones. Was Bush wired? Sure looks like it. Wait till you see this picture.
All right.
I'm telling you. And like I said yesterday, I want to repeat it again. Anybody who has to be coached during a debate with a candidate when he's running for the highest office in the country, this man clearly is not only a doofus, he doesn't deserve anybody's vote. Someone that needs to be coached. And also when he is having discussions with leaders of other countries.
Right.
They say they see the same bulge in his back.
Yeah, I didn't believe it in the beginning, but then
when you see this picture, man, and read this article, which I'm going to link it over to Erica during the break.
Probably doctored by you communists.
A NASA photo expert's analysis makes it clear Bush is lying. He wore some kind of device in each of the 3 debates, so why won't the media go near this story? A leading NASA scientist who normally spends his days analyzing and enhancing photo images sent across the depths of space by the Cassini and other space probes has turned his expertise to images of the president in the 3 debates. His conclusion, George Bush is obviously wearing something, probably a receiver of some kind, under his jacket for each debate. Robert M. Nelson, who's worked for NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory at the California Institute of Technology for some 3 decades, provided a dramatic photo of the bulge under the jacket at the first debate to Salon.com, which posted on October 29. Now working at home and using his own computers, he's done the same analysis for MotherJones.com on images of Bush's back taken during the second 2 debates. Nelson, a top-ranked senior research scientist at JPL and past chair of the Division for Planetary Sciences of the American Astronomical Society, says that by enhancing the contrast and the edge definition in the digital photographs taken a video broadcast of the 3 debates, the object of the jacket can be clearly delineated. And we'll put this on our website. Nelson told MotherJones.com, in the first debate, the bulges create the impression of a letter T with a small feature which appears similar to a wire under the jacket running upward from the right. In the second and third debates, the jacket has a generally padded shape across a large part of the entire back, which tapers inward toward the spine in a downward direction. This is consistent with the hypothesis that a pad was inserted to conceal the T-shaped device seen in the first debate. How do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
When in doubt, I'm gonna link it out right now. Also, 13,000 ballots rushed from voting site must be recounted. This was in Volusia County. A glitch in a voting machine at an early polling place in Volusia County is forcing election officials to recount about 13,000 ballots. They were removed from the City Island Library in Daytona Beach and transported to a secure vault in DeLand after an optical scan machine failed. You know, those are those great new machines they got?
Right.
We don't want to have no paper ballots or paper trail. I mean, that's old-fashioned. A computer error was said to be blamed for the failure of the memory card, which records the voting data. Thousands of ballots have to be resubmitted through the voting machines today. The problem includes every ballot cast during the last several weeks at the library. When the error was discovered yesterday, representatives from both parties were notified. Members of each political party in the canvassing board must witness the recount process today in Daytona Beach.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Do you love blue-collar TV?
Who wants to get her done?
Then you'll absolutely hate white-collar TV. Excuse me, any of you chaps game for getting her done? It's the sketch comedy show about the blue bloods that put the blue collars in their place.
Excuse me, sir. There's a Larry the Cable Guy awaiting you at the front gate.
Very well. Release the hounds. If you spend winters in Aspen and summers in the Hamptons, you'll want to spend your evenings watching white-collar TV.
Chumley, I have a good one for you. If I pay you minimum wage to detail my Bentley, you might be a redneck.
White-collar TV.
11:45. Can I ask you a question? Is Stephen Baldwin certifiably crazy or what?
I don't know that much about him, personally.
He's a crazy person.
Okay.
He was on last night on MSNBC debating somebody. Oh, Joe Trippi. And he's a religious nut.
I see.
Crazy person, Stephen Baldwin. He's part of that flat earth crowd, you know, the Bush right-wing Bible-thumping crowd, the flat earth people.
Well, I'm going to tell his brother on it.
Here's a lady in the Keys. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to tell you, Neil, that I have sent your website on to people in Ohio and Wisconsin, people that don't have the advantages we do down here with your website. And
Thank you. That's great.
Well, it's true. That's why I'm waiting till today to tell you, because I've been sending them articles from your website, and they've gone in and researched things and found out things that they don't hear about in those small towns up there.
Or from the mainstream media.
Exactly. And what you say on your websites are true, and they are starting to understand what's been happening in our country. And I must tell you, 5 of these people were staunch Republicans.
Great.
And they are now today, I'm proud to say, voting for change. They don't They don't necessarily love Kerry,
right?
But because they're better informed, they've made a better choice, and they know that we need a change in government. And I think I hold you responsible for that, and I'm calling you today to thank you.
Well, thank you, and great job. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. How do you like that, huh?
That's wonderful.
Makes us feel like we're accomplishing a little bit of something, as opposed to the, the heavy breathers that we hear from most days. No, seriously, the last week or so, the traffic on our website has been phenomenal. I mean, just unbelievable, through the roof. Now, I just emailed that story with a picture of Bush in the jacket and the listening device.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, anybody who wants to be even a little bit subjective, who's got an IQ larger than 6, knows that we're dealing with a man who's got a limited vocabulary and a limited intellect, okay? I'm trying to be kind.
All right.
But the idea that someone who aspires to be and already has stolen the presidency once and aspires to be president for another 4 years, the idea that he needs to be coached in order to...
He's not smart. The people around him are.
Yeah, right, like Dick Cheney.
Right.
Here's a call from P. Ryan. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Ryan?
Speak to me. That's why I just said P. Ryan.
Oh, P. Ryan. Okay,
Right.
just want to let you know a little voter report down in P. Ryan.
Okay.
All 4 of my family got them all to vote for Kerry.
All right.
And we all sent Katherine Rundle packing, even though you had to vote for a Republican to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're standing in line in the P. Ryan voting area, and over here some old Spanish people talking, saying, "Oh, a vote for Kerry is a vote for Comunista."
What a surprise.
Cuba and Comunista.
Yeah, what a shock.
Yeah, hey, George, can't you do something about your people or what?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Just as long as you said you're going to do something, I'm fine with that.
Good luck, Pally.
Hey, you take it easy.
Okay, and you too.
I did do something. I moved to Broward.
Yeah, that's right. Just like I did years ago. Got that lot of Kindle, man. No speaking English aquí. So I just got them out of there, man. It's one of those things, and yeah, you know, eventually people will die.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna say anything else, like anything stupid, like they're gonna fit in or start, you know. No, they just die.
Do fit
That's
in
the only hope you
where
got.
they are.
Another 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. All those old exilios, man, with that one-dimensional, that bullcrap, and like I said the other day, they get fed reinforcements from QBA and all those other no-speaking English stations with their lies and their slander and their crap 24/7. The FCC doesn't care about it. Nobody else cares about it because they're speaking another language, and the FCC can't be bothered hiring Spanish language people on their staff, so they just go on and lie and swear and do whatever the hell they want. There's Dick Cheney with the one with the bull-dyke daughter. That they're so embarrassed. See, when you stop and think about that, really, what a slam that is. See, it's kind of like the Cheneys went back into their homophobic past of just a year or two ago and his whole career. I mean, the idea that anybody would mention that their daughter, who's a gay activist, no less, for a very homophobic Coors company, the idea that mentioning that is somehow a shot or a slam, when they're the ones that mentioned it in the first place in an interview. She's out. So the idea that somebody being identified as gay is just telling you that they don't want to offend the homophobic flat earth crowd, which is about 90% of their vote. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
Sensational.
I went to vote in Miami Springs, and I got in line like at 8:30 in the morning, and I was off the line. Got finished voting at 10:20.
Wow.
So it was really impressive how many people showed up.
Yeah, but that's not a go. Where was it? Miami Springs?
Miami Springs in precinct 4. What is it? 346.
Well, what kind of people were there? Were there young people there?
Well, Miami Springs is a lot of Americans.
Right.
Well, there were some old, some middle. You know, not.
I was hoping maybe some Japanese would be there to vote.
Right. But it was impressive.
Well, good job.
All right, Neil.
Thanks, Pally.
Bye.
Go vote again this afternoon just to make sure it counts. This business about the idea that Democrats are going to try to find dead people to vote. What's wrong with that? It's always been good enough in Dade County, right? Why do you think they call it Dade County? All they did was rearrange the letters. All they want to do is suppress your vote. I'm going to say it again. All you dark folks out there, I'm talking about real dark, black as the ace of spades. You ought to round up about 10 of your close friends, jam them in the back of your pickup truck, and get on over to your nearest polling place and demand to vote, okay? Give them the old what for. And also demand some free chicken, too, while you're waiting in those long lines, right?
Right.
I'm tired of this crap. The idea that 16 or 18% of black America is going to vote for Bush while his surrogates are doing everything in their power to keep black people, to suppress the black vote, to use their exact terms. If we're going to win Michigan, we got to suppress the black vote in Detroit. We got to do everything in our power to suppress the black vote. What kind of honesty is that? What kind of compassionate conservative? What kind of bullcrap? Just like Kerry said that they thought they caught him out, they had that. And see, this is the one thing with Kerry that bothers me. If it would have been Howard Dean, he would have said, yeah, that's what I said and I meant it. These are the most crooked, the most rotten, the most miserable bastards on the face of the earth. He would have stood up to it. That's correct. But, just like the fact when they asked during the debate, see, Kerry's got himself between a rock and a hard place. The Next Hour points out very clearly, this crowd of neocons thought this would be a pushover, a walk in the park. That's right.
Right.
But instead, what they did is sacrifice so far over 1,100 American men and women who didn't have a chance to live a life. And you people sit back out there with blood. You Bush people, man, I know we've got some listening. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. How do you look yourself in the mirror?
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, is that what it is? They're going to make us safer and what? What they've done is spawn. They have made the world so much more dangerous now than it was before 9/11 that there's no way to even estimate it, to calculate it.
He was a dangerous man.
Yeah, right. No, there's a dangerous man, all right, and he's the one that's going to get his ass tossed out in the election today, unless they find another way to steal it.
Sovereignty.
And believe you me, they're working, as I speak, they're working feverishly in state after state, every state that's within 100,000 votes, to do whatever the hell they can to steal it again. Because that was the only way they could get in 2000, and that's the only way they'll be able to do it again. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How are you?
Pretty good, pal.
You are the best.
Yes, sir.
And on behalf of the Democratic National Committee, I want to thank you. And I mean, you gave up some of your ratings, obviously, in this last Arbitron to keep talking, but people don't want to hear. And
we don't care about ratings. We don't care about ratings.
I marched, and you marched in the late '60s and early '70s.
No, I didn't.
Get the 18-year-olds the right to vote. This is their time. This is their moment.
Well, they're going to be out there, man. 18 to 29-year-olds are going to turn
right.
out big time.
That's one of your demographics, and they have to assert themselves, stay in line for 3 hours, whatever it takes, stay there.
That's right. And if they get bored, George is coming by with a free. He's got a little bag.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's got some good crap that he got at the barber shop over there in Little Jamaica.
Full of free chicken. That's what we got from
it ain't
AC
chicken.
Subs.
No, it ain't chicken. He's got like a Glad bag, a little Ziploc.
I'm glad I have a bag.
Yeah, well, maybe you can get rid of it. Anyway, in the next hour, I'm going to read this, and I know it's long and ponderous. I want to get a lot of calls on here today, but let me just say to you right now that this story this article by Russ Baker tells you all you need to know about the whys and the wherefores, what this was all about. And I'm going to read right now for those who are already turning off because they want to hear Rush and his right-wing propaganda. That last sentence, quoting this Herskowitz that was hired by the Bushmeister himself to write the biography, and then, of course, they didn't like what he was writing. It wasn't sucky enough, so they hired somebody else. He says, the best material was left on the cutting room floor, including Bush's true feelings. He told me that as a leader, you can never admit to a mistake, Herskowitz said. That was one of the keys to being a leader. And so this is why, both in that one press conference they keep showing, that's in the Democratic ad, where he's hemming and hawing about, well, I really can't think of one right now, and that one, and then, of course, during the debate when that woman asked him, and then he tried to turn it around, well, I know what you're really talking about is Iraq, and when somebody says that, no, that's not what she was asking. She was asking him to show a little humility and admit that he had made mistakes. But being a strong leader and using this baloney about, well, he's strong, he's a cowboy, he's tough on terrorism, he's going to go out there and smoke them out of their holes. You can't admit no mistakes, because great leaders don't make mistakes.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
This is Mark Morgan. It's the 12 to 1 hour on QAM.
In video stores now, the explosive Fahrenheit 711.
Holy moly! What are you doing here?
I want peanut butter and jelly.
Yes.
And
yes, sir.
They're
okay. Yes, I'm sorry, I do not speak English.
But I'm
shut up.
I isn't shut up. Is in this nature solution. I'm shut up.
Oh, Abu, give it up.
Abu.
You bastard.
Fahrenheit 711.
I want Jack Daniels. Shut up.
Rated C for convenience.
1201 at 560 WQM. We got the Mad Dog, Jim Mandich, who's going to be really moaning and groaning after that last performance last night. That was pathetic. And what did I tell you, Josh? That was an aberration. The Rams had played on a Monday night game. They didn't practice for 2 days. They got into town real late the night before the game. They missed the bus. And that's why the Dolphins looked so sensational last week. Am I right?
You are.
And then they go up there to the Meadowlands last night, play a real team. And by the way, the Jets are a good team.
Yes, sir.
Play a real team, and they get their ass just destroyed. 41-14, my ass. It could have been 141-0 if they really wanted to, put the pedal to the metal. Anyway, Russ Baker, right now, what we're going to do this hour, we'll do just 3 breaks, okay? Can you handle that?
Yeah.
Because we got no business today because it's election day, and, it's the second of the month, and the sales department's off their feet, or whatever the excuse is, whatever the deal is. So we'll just do 3. So you can take a couple from the last break, you can, spread them around. In 1999, candidate Bush spoke of wanting to invade Iraq if elected. This by Russ Baker, very famous columnist, writes for the Times, a lot of other good publications. Houston, 2 years before the September 11th attacks, presidential candidate George W. Bush was already talking privately about the political benefits of attacking Iraq, according to his former ghostwriter, who held many conversations with the then Texas Governor Bush in preparation for a planned autobiography. He was thinking about invading Iraq in 1999, said author and journalist Mickey Herskowitz. It was on his mind. He said to me, one of the keys is being seen as a great leader is to be seen as a commander-in-chief. And he said, my father had all this political capital built up when he drove the Iraqis out of Kuwait, and he wasted it. He said, if I have a chance to invade, if I had that much capital, I'm not going to waste it. If I'm going to get everything passed that I want to get passed, I'm going to have a successful presidency. Herskowitz said that Bush expressed frustration at a lifetime as an underachiever in the shadow of an accomplished father. In aggressive military action, he saw the opportunity to emerge from his father's shadow. The moment, Herskowitz said, came in the wake of the 9/11 attacks. Suddenly, he's at 91% of the polls, and he'd barely crawled out of the bunker. That President Bush and his advisors had Iraq on their minds long before the weapons inspectors had finished their work, and long before alleged Iraqi ties with terrorists became a central rationale for war, has been raised elsewhere, including a book based on recollections of former Treasury Secretary Paul O'Neill. However, Herskowitz was in a unique position to hear Bush's unguarded numpties. The publisher was William Morrow. Herskowitz was given unimpeded access to Bush, and the two met approximately 20 times so Bush could share his thoughts. Herskowitz began working on the book in May 1999 and says that within 2 months he'd completed and submitted some 10 chapters, with a remaining 4 to 6 chapters still on his computer. Herskowitz was replaced as Bush's ghostwriter after Bush's handlers concluded that the candidate's views and life experiences were not being cast in a sufficiently positive light. According to Herskowitz, who's authored more than 30 books, many of them jointly written autobiographies of famous Americans in politics, sports, and the media, including that of Reagan advisor Michael Deaver, Bush and his advisors were sold on the idea that it was difficult for a president to accomplish an electoral agenda without the record-high approval numbers that accompany successful, if modest, wars. The revelations on Bush's attitude toward Iraq emerged recently during 2 taped interviews of Herskowitz, which included a discussion of a variety of matters, including his continued closeness with the Bush family, indicated by a subsequent selection-dependent authorized biography of Bush's grandfather, written and published last year with the assistance and blessing of the Bush family. Herskowitz also revealed the following. In 2003, Bush's father indicated to him that he disagreed with his son's invasion of Iraq. Bush admitted that he failed to fulfill his Vietnam-era domestic National Guard service obligation, but claimed that he had been excused. Bush revealed that after he left his Texas National Guard unit in 1972 under murky circumstances, he never piloted a plane again. That casts doubt on the carefully choreographed moment of Bush emerging in pilot's garb from a jet on the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln in 2003 to celebrate mission accomplished in Iraq. The image instantly telegraphed around the globe, and subsequent hazy White House statements about his capacity in the cockpit created the impression that a heroic Bush had played a role in landing the craft. Bush described his own business ventures as floundering before campaign officials insisted on recasting them in a positive light. Throughout the interviews for this article and in subsequent conversations, Herskowitz indicated he was conflicted over revealing information provided by a family with which he has longtime connections and by how his candor would comport with the undefined operating principles of the as-told-to genre. Well, after the interviews in which he expressed consternation at Bush's true views, experience, and basic essence had eluded the American people, Herskowitz communicated growing concern about the consequences for himself of the publication of his remarks and said he'd been under the impression he would not be quoted by name. However, when conversations began, it was made clear to him that the material was intended for publication and attribution. A tape recorder was present and visible at all times. Several people who know Herskowitz well addressed his character and the veracity of his recollections. I don't know anybody that's ever said a bad word about Mickey, said Barry Silverman, well-known Houston executive and civic figure who worked with him on another book project. An informal survey of Texas journalists turned up uniform confidence that Herskowitz's account as contained in this article could be considered accurate. One noted Texas journalist who spoke with Herskowitz about the book in 1999 recalls how the author mentioned to him at the time that Bush had revealed things the campaign found embarrassing and didn't want in print. He requested anonymity because of the political climate in the state. I can't go near this, he said. According to Herskowitz, George W. Bush's beliefs on Iraq were based in part on a notion dating back to the Reagan White House, ascribed in part to now Vice President Dick Cheney, chairman of the House Republican Policy Committee under Reagan. Start a small war, pick a country where there's justification you can jump on, go ahead and invade. Bush's circle of pre-election advisors had a fixation on the political capital that British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher collected from the Falklands War. Said Herskowitz, they were just absolutely blown away, just enthralled by the scenes of the troops coming back of the boats, people throwing flowers at Thatcher, and her getting these standing ovations in Parliament and making these magnificent speeches. Republicans, Herskowitz said, felt that Jimmy Carter's political downfall could be attributed largely to his failure to wage a war. He noted that President Reagan and President Bush's father himself had, besides the narrowly focused Gulf War I, successfully waged limited wars against tiny opponents, Grenada and Panama, and gained politically. But there were these were successful small wars, and then there were quagmires, and apparently George Herbert Walker Bush and his son didn't see eye to eye. I know Bush Sr. would not admit to this now, but he was opposed to it. I asked him if he had talked to W about invading Iraq. He said, no, I haven't and I won't, but Brent Scowcroft has. Brent would not have talked to him without the old man's okaying it. Scowcroft, National Security Advisor in the elder Bush's administration, penned a highly publicized warning to George W. Bush about the perils of an invasion of Iraq. Herskowitz's revelations are not the sole indicator of Bush's pre-election thinking in Iraq. In December 1999, some 6 months after his talks with Herskowitz, Bush surprised veteran political chroniclers, including the Boston Globe's David Nyhan, with his blunt pronouncements about Saddam at a six-way New Hampshire primary event that got little notice. It was a gaffe-free evening for the rookie frontrunner until he was asked about Saddam's weapons stash, wrote Nyhan. "I'd take him out," Bush grinned cavalierly. "Take out the weapons of mass destruction. I'm surprised he's still there," said Bush. Of the despot who remains in power after losing Gulf War to Bush Jr.'s father, it remains to be seen if that offhand declaration of war was just Texas talk, sort of locker room braggadocio, or whether it was Bush's first big clinker. The notion that President Bush held unrealistic or naive views about the consequences of war was further advanced recently by a Bush supporter, the evangelist Pat Robertson, who revealed that Bush had told him the Iraq invasion would yield no casualties. In addition, in recent days, high-ranking U.S. military officials have complained that the White House did not provide them with adequate resources for the task at hand. Herskowitz considers himself a friend of the Bush family and has been a guest at the family vacation home in Kennebunkport. In the late 1960s, Herskowitz, a longtime Houston Chronicle sports columnist, designated President Bush's father, then Congressman George H.W. Bush, to replace him as a guest columnist, and the two have remained close since then. Herskowitz was suspended briefly in April without pay for reusing material from one of his own columns about legendary UCLA basketball coach John Wooden. In 1999, when Herskowitz turned in his chapters for charge to keep, Bush's staff expressed displeasure, often over Herskowitz's use of language provided by Bush himself. In a chapter on the oil business, Herskowitz included Bush's own words to describe the Texans' unprofitable business ventures, writing, "The companies were floundering." I got a call from one of the campaign lawyers. He said he was kind of angry. "You've got some wrong information." I didn't bother to say, "Well, you know where it came from." The lawyer said, "We don't consider the governor struggled or floundered in the oil business. We consider him a successful oilman who started up at least 2 new businesses." In the end, campaign officials decided not to go with Herskowitz's account and, moreover, demanded everything back. The lawyer called me and said, "Delete it, shred it, just do it." They took it, and the communications director, Karen Hughes, rewrote it, he said. A campaign official arrived at his home at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Monday morning, took his notes and computer files. However, Herskowitz is known for his memory of anecdotes from his long history in journalism and book publishing, says he's very confident about his recollections. According to Herskowitz, Bush was reluctant to discuss his airtime in the Texas Air National Guard, and inconsistent when he did so. Bush, he said, provided conflicting explanations of how he came to bypass a waiting list and obtain a coveted guard slot as a domestic alternative to being sent to Vietnam. Herskowitz also said that Bush told him that after transferring from his Texas Guard unit, 2/3 through a 6-year military obligation to work on an Alabama political campaign, he did not attend any Alabama National Guard drills at all because he was excused. This directly contradicts his public statements that he participated in obligatory training with the Alabama National Guard. Bush's claim to have fulfilled his military duty has been subject to intense scrutiny. He's insisted in the past that he did show up for monthly drills in Alabama, though commanding officers say they never saw him, and no guardsmen have come forward to accept substantial rewards for anyone who can claim to have seen Bush on the base. Herskowitz said he asked Bush if he ever flew a plane again after leaving the Texas Air National Guard in 1972, which was 2 years prior to his contractual obligation to fly jets was due to expire. He said Bush told him he never flew any planes, military or civilian, again. That would contradict published accounts in which Bush talked about his days in 1973 working with inner-city children when he claimed to have taken some of the children up in a plane. In 2002, 3 years after he'd been pulled off the George W. Bush biography, Herskowitz was asked by Bush's father to write a book about the current president's grandfather, Prescott Bush, after getting a message that the senior Bush wanted to see him. Former President Bush just handed it to me. We were sitting there one day, and I was visiting him there in his office. He said, "I wish somebody would do a book about my dad." He said to me, "I know this has been a disappointing time for you, but it's amazing how many times something good will come out of it." I passed it on to my agent. He jumped all over it. I asked Bush Sr., "Would you support it, and would you give me access to the rest of the family?" He said yes. That book, Duty, Honor, Country, The Life and Legacy of Prescott Bush, was published in 2003 by Routledge. If anything, the book's office considered the ultimate as told to author, lending credibility to his account of what George W. Bush told him. Herskowitz's other books run the gamut of public figures, including the memoirs of Regan A. Deaver, former Texas Governor and Nixon Treasury Secretary John Connally, newsman Dan Rather, astronaut Walter Cunningham, and baseball greats Mickey Mantle and Nolan Ryan. After Herskowitz was pulled from the Bush Book Project, the biographer learned that a scenario was being prepared to explain his departure. I got a phone call from someone in the Bush campaign confidentially saying, "Watch your back." Reporters covering Bush say that when they inquired as to why Herskowitz was no longer on the project, Karen Hughes intimated that Herskowitz had personal habits that interfered with his writing, a claim Herskowitz said is totally unfounded. Later, the campaign put out the word that Herskowitz had been removed for missing a deadline. Hughes subsequently finished the book herself. It received largely critical views for its self-serving qualities and lack of spontaneity or introspection. So, said Herskowitz, the best material was left on the cutting room floor, including Bush's true feelings. He told me that as a leader, you can never admit to a mistake, Herskowitz said. That was one of the keys to being a leader. That's it. Worth reading again, I think, over and over again. That tells you where the mindset is. That tells you this whole Republican plan of invading Iraq. They thought it was going to be another grenade, another piece of cake. Surprise! Surprise. You can't spell quagmire without Iraq. Got it?
Got it.
Which state do you think will be the most crucial in today's election? We're asking right now. How many vote we got? 533. And so far, Florida, like we expected, 299, Ohio, 165. Nobody else even close. Those two. Pennsylvania, 23. I don't care, 19. Don't know, 11. Hawaii, 7. 7 for Hawaii. How do you like that? Wisconsin, 3. Michigan, 2. Iowa, 2. And New Jersey finally has got a pair. Okay, I'm tired of rambling. I'll take a lot of calls between now and 2 o'clock. Right?
Right. We should.
Apologize profusely for rambling on, rereading that article, but a lot of people, I guarantee you, didn't hear it the first time. So if you're wondering why Iraq, if you're wondering why this business, see, stupid and stubborn don't get the job done. Never admitting to a mistake. Nobody that's got his finger on a button, nobody that's got the kind of power that the President of the United States has got should be stupid and stubborn. It's the old SS again. In fact, I think it's on their belt buckles, ain't it? The neocons. 12:14 at 560 WQM. It's that time of year again. The snowbirds and relatives come pouring down from the north for the winter. Well, this winter, why not give them something really special, a great night's sleep every night on a new mattress from Dollar Mattress. They carry the complete line of bedding from Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King Coil, Tempur-Pedic, Even, Stearns, and Bananas Foster. Call 1-800-MATTRESS right now and save up to an additional 20% off their already super low factory direct prices on select models. Call 1-800-MATTRESS right now and choose the day and time for your delivery, too, within any 2-hour window that's convenient for you, any day, 7 days a week from 8 in the a.m. till 10 p.m. All the smart folks, some of the moderate ones, are calling Dollar Mattress because even morons know that wasting time, gas, and money schlepping from bedding to department store is foolish. The easy thing, like I always do, is just make that one call. Low prices, same-day delivery, free setup and removal. It's easy to see. Our Dollar Mattress is ranked #1 in the world in customer satisfaction and even received the prestigious Better Business Bureau's Torch of Excellence Award, too. Call them right now. You'll be sleeping like a baby as soon as tonight and for years to come. You can check them on the web at mattress.com or pick up your instrument and dial 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRESS.
You are listening to Neil Rogers exclusively. QAM.
Why wasn't he able to hide his trade practices? Told courtroom fables he'll need conjugal visits. 'Cause his name is Ken Lay and Ron Stock is totally worthless. And now it's too late, nothing's wrong, just as long as you know Ken Lay's locked up. Ken Lay, look out, you need Johnny Cochran, call him right now. You're heading off to prison. Better bribe the jury real fast. Ken Lay, don't cry, you look pretty good in those pinstripes. Bet you'll never lie about stocks again.
There's another one. Kenny Boy Lane. Oh, we've never heard of anybody on that name, did we? Kenny Boy Lane? 1219. They're all a bunch of crooks, baby. They all belong in jail. Bad news, Daily Rock again, before we get to any more calls. Bad news. A car bomb exploded today near the Ministry of Education in busy Baghdad commercial area, killing at least 8 people, wounding 29 more. In the north, another car bomb killed at least 4 people in Mosul. Meanwhile, kidnappers released 2 Iraqi guards who had been abducted along with an American, a Nepalese, a Filipino, and an Iraqi from the Baghdad compound of a Saudi company on Monday. Didn't release the other hostages, just the 2 Iraqi guards. In today's bombing, a car laden, I wonder if he's related to Bin Laden, plowed into concrete, that's what it says here, AP, plowed into concrete blast walls and protective barriers surrounding the education ministry exploded in Baghdad's northern Azamiya district. Bad news every day from Iraq. It's a slaughterhouse. It's a butcher shop. People are dying every day. And all those people who are dying every day would still be alive. All those children and women have been blown to bits. Yeah, innocent bystanders.
Freedom is on
all that
march.
Collateral damage. Okay, let's take some calls because everything is it smells like roses over there and they're throwing flowers and candy at the troops. Or those hand grenades.
Candy hand grenades.
Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Danny Atkins. I'm Vice President of Hollywood Dog Track and happen to be the chairman of Floridians for a Level Playing Field. And I wanted to call and tell you guys thanks for the thumbs up on Amendment 4.
Right.
It's a great amendment. It's going to do what it says it'll do to the Constitution. If it's approved, for the first time ever, there will be a restriction on this type of activity. So to change it, the other counties will always have a say. In other words, we're taking it away from the legislature, putting it in the hands of the people.
Right. Have you done any recent polling on it to see how it's going?
Yeah, we're pulling real well, guys, with the 18 to 40-year-olds. The younger folks, we're in the 60s, high 60s. It's the older Florida population that doesn't appear to. I just don't think they quite understand it. I think we're going to make it, though. I think we're going to be a winner. Something else interesting, and I'll hang up. I won't hold you up too long.
Okay.
It's very interesting. You watch those opposition ads out there. This Vote No on 4 committee, the mystery opponents out there have not filed any campaign finance reports. And when this is over, it's going to be real interesting to see where that money's coming from. And I am a betting man.
We know where it's coming from.
You got it.
Okay, good luck, Danny.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Okay. How do you like that? Yeah, we know where it's coming from. The special interests who want to continue raping the public without giving anything back in return to the state coffers. Mickey Arison and his cruise ships to nowhere, and the Indians, which aren't giving any money back into the public coffers. And, of course, the Bahamas that are just a bunch of sucklings down there. And the only reason the Bahamas continue to exist with their casinos is because of the fact that people can't go and have a good time in Florida. Slot machines and racetracks. That's all it's all about. 7 facilities in Dayton Broward. Nothing else. Not one on every street corner. There is absolutely no legitimate reason to vote against Amendment 4. A yes vote is mandatory.
The
right.
Doggies.
In fact, here's a fax, timely, that he just called. I was just reading this when he called. Kate says to the animal rights activists, stop fighting your own cause. If Amendment 4 is passed, the slot machines will be the main attraction and source of revenue with the tracks, eventually eliminating the dog racing altogether. I'm sure Danny's not going to be happy to hear that, but that's what she says. Using animal rights to prevent our schools from getting better funding is just plain dumb. Our kids are more important than anything else. Vote yes on 4. Nice going, Kate. Yes on 4, baby. We're talking about zillions of dollars for education in a state where your governor says he's got devious plans to subvert the will of the electorate. Your fat-ass governor. Anyway, well, I got some other faxes, but let's take some more calls. What do you say? Like a pressure-packed hour and a half left. We're packing it. Here's a call from Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how's it going?
All right.
Just want to let you know that my fiance and I, both in our mid-20s, voted for Kerry and Gracias Americaster. And now we're on our way over to Carroll City, Liberty City, and Alberton to schlep hesitant black folk onto the polling places.
Excellent.
All right.
Okay, don't forget the watermelon. Okay. President, and you wonder why the rest of the world hates America like poison now? I mean, you talk about a turnaround. The days after 9/11, the rest of the world, even the evildoers, some of them, they felt for us. They had Rachmanis for America, man. And now, almost anywhere you go, and you listen to the conversation, you mention the name Bush, and they look at you like you're an evildoer. That's right. They recoil in horror at what America's become. This business about being the bully of the world and doing things unilaterally, that ain't going to cut it, okay? That's not... 26 past noon at 560 WQA. Maybe he'll give you some tips, some connections. He'll have a lot of time on his hands. And while you were out yesterday, vacationing one day, John Henry. We always liked John Henry, didn't we?
Did we?
John Henry and the Red Sox organization endorsed Kerry. They gave him a nice World Series championship T-shirt. You see that? John Henry, I butched him up a little bit. I ripped him an ass while he was here, and I butched him up a little, I think. Well, whatever. And then, of course, and you're the one that told me about Kurt Schilling. I didn't know that.
Me?
Who told me that? About him being a born-again Christian.
Must have been Josh.
Or maybe Josh told me.
Because I don't know who that is.
The pitcher for the Red Sox, their star pitcher.
That would be me.
Yeah, Josh told me that. See, Josh finally got something right. And so he was given a song to dance about, well, he shouldn't have opened up a mouth in the first place, and his ankle is still swollen. He's not going to be able to appear with Bush. What does he do yesterday all of a sudden? He makes a surprise appearance. Hey, he's got a boot on his ankle, and give him the boot. That's what I say, with all your religious fanaticism. Anyway, I'm getting worked up again. I shouldn't do that. Get out there and vote for Kerry several times. Yes on Prop 4. Yes for Betty Castor. Hold your nose and vote for Betty Castor, please, because she's sure as hell a lot better than the alternative, than that right-wing evildoer Mel Martinez.
See,
man, he went off the deep end. All of a sudden, he was driving along one day and took a wild turn to the right, and he never came back. 27 past noon. Well, it's a flat Earth society, and it is a flat planet. Stephen Baldwin. If you could have seen him last night, you would wonder if this man belongs in a mental institution. And God is for this, and God, it was incredible. He made Pat Robertson look like an atheist. Anyway, no matter what you believe about carpet cleaning, I'll tell you right now, I know what I believe, and that is for over 20 years in my homes, I've used the best. Dry Concepts. Nothing has changed during that period of time. A lot of imitators, a lot of people have come and gone. But Dry Concepts is still around doing their unbelievable dry cleaning of your carpets. It's an exclusive patented method. Dry cleaning, just like on your clothing, sucks out the deep down dirt in the fibers of your carpet, makes them look and smell like brand new. They smell lemony fresh, and they're dry in just a couple of hours because Dry Concepts uses a rapid drying technique, so you really can clean today and entertain tonight. No rip-offs, no games, no BS, because when it comes to giving you a fair deal every time, you can't beat Dry Concepts. They give you a written, guaranteed price up front before they even start doing the work. So whether it's your carpeting, your furniture, your drapery, your expensive area and oriental rugs, please do yourself a big favor and count on our friends at Dry Concepts. They are the best. In Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County, call them toll-free, 1-800-248-5071. 1-800-248-5071. On the Wicked Web, you can find more information about the great work they'll do for you at dryconcepts.com. That's Dry Concepts, making carpets clean in South Florida since 1979.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
You drudge packing?
Yeah, she was good for gawking. I wonder if she survived past 1995.
12:34, but I tell you, Eric did a spectacular job with those pictures on the website. Did Eric do that? I'm sure he did.
He did. And Josh.
And it's there. And that ain't no wrinkled shirt. All of us who ever worn a shirt, men, women, or children, have had wrinkled shirts. There ain't no wrinkled shirt that makes a shape like that.
See, I thought it was a bulletproof vest in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't be so far-fetched.
Yeah. No.
No.
Pennsylvania. It shows Kerry 49, Bush 48. So these humongous turnouts that we're getting, and the 18 to 29-year vote, and, of course, those cell phone people. Right. You were out yesterday, but I had an interesting Zogby poll. You know, last night, I don't know how come it is that I can find it on the internets, but these people that they pay a lot of money to, like Pat Buchanan and these other goofballs they have on these talking head networks, how come they don't see these articles? John Zogby did the first poll of cell phone people. The people who use these, it was in conjunction with the Rock the Vote, with Motorola. And it was 55 to 40 for Kerry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which mirrors almost exactly the 18 to 29-year-old polling right now, which shows 55-41 for Kerry. So we get those younger people out to vote in droves today, which they're predicting. And, of course, then a lot of people say, well, any time a candidate's dependent on the young crowd to come out and vote, they never show up. They always let them down. So it's up to you, folks, the living and breathing crowd. Devon faxes and says, have you heard that in Philadelphia, in 2 different precincts, voting machines have been found with preset votes for Bush? Let's see. Is that a 2 or a 200 and 500 in one place, 300 in the other? And that's just the ones that they caught. How many do you think got by? How many thousand?
About 30, man.
How do you like that? Well, he's got to get a head start. That, like I said the other day, it's his Head Start program.
Won't help.
Here's a fax that says from Chip. My oldest daughter is wife of a Baptist minister in a church on the shores of Okeechobee. We've been arguing for the past months on the issues. It always comes back to her religious beliefs and how sure she is that W is ordained by God to lead this country. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I emailed the link of W shooting the bird. Now she's finally disappointed, not president. Show the religion is something they feel is the least bit offensive, and all of a sudden you have their attention. Why not tell her about that abortion that he had arranged for that girlfriend of his years ago in Texas, that he drove her right to the abortion clinic? I only wish you had this on your site a week earlier. Maybe I could have persuaded her with your help not to vote for this bastard. Thanks anyway, Neil, for everything you and your web boys do and don't stop. When was this video made? I don't know. Recently.
I don't know.
He was just funning, you know.
Right. He's a Funyun.
He's a fun guy. Here's a call from Hollywood. Hello.
How you doing, Neil? Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. Thanks for
I voted
making your call.
Hollywood. I voted number 4 on the poll there about an hour ago. Yes, push the yes button. Very easy. Also, I'd like to say that Kerry is going to win. I hope so. What do you think?
I hope.
And I'd like to say there was a fellow there doing some entertainment. They called himself the Great One.
Oh, yeah, really? Uh-huh. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular. His partner called earlier. That was the Democratic, whatever that guy was.
Yeah.
That was him. But, nevertheless, here's Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
Okay.
As far as which state is more important, right now I think is Ohio, because I think Kerry is going to carry Florida by over 100,000 votes.
Really?
Believe me, because I think in the last election, if you looked at it, Bush got over all 100% of Muslim votes in Florida. He's not going to get that this time. And I think it's going to be a huge difference. There's 100,000.
No, the Muslim poll is like 10-1 for Kerry. 10 out of every 11.
Exactly. 9 out of 10 are for Kerry, and it was the other way around the last time.
Really?
So that's a huge difference. And if the turnout shows up the way they're going, and if Gore last time took Dade County by 40,000 votes and lost by 537, if he gets Dade County by some estimate as high as 100,000, I don't think Bush could cover that much. That's large of a number to carry Florida.
Yeah, especially when we get this gigantic turnout.
The language they use for Iraq. Just replace communism with terrorism, and you see the same thing they're trying to feed you. They told you if America leaves Southeast Vietnam, all that Southeast Vietnam will turn to communism. The same thing they say about Iraq. If we lose there, terrorists will win. We cannot lose face. It's the same thing. And if you look at the Colin Powell's doctrine that they used in the first Gulf War, they used 750,000 troops with the world to just move somebody out.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough troops to go in the first place. You look at the sample of Ireland with the British. British used 2 soldiers or policemen for every 1,000
and how come the media just kind of let it gloss on by when Paul Bremer, who was their own hand-picked head honcho over there, came back and just a couple of weeks ago said, we never had enough troops over there on the ground in the first place.
They needed 500,000 troops for an occupation in the country. The reason is because Bush, give him credit, they suckered the media by embedding the media in the military.
Right. That's right.
And they painted
That's
it
how
Iraq.
they bought him off.
Yeah, and every time you say Operation Iraqi Freedom, what is that, marketing tool?
Yeah, you sure? That's it. That's exactly what it is.
You know, they sucker the media, and the media, mainstream media in the United States has to take the blame for this war.
There are a bunch of horrors, just like that made-for-TV, made-for-CNN event where they pulled down the statue of Sodom, and then we found out later on that there was almost nobody there.
Exactly.
And they handpicked those people to show up there.
I mean, you look at MSNBC, till a few months ago, every time they still had the flag of Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, could you be more in bed with the administration? The job of a free media is supposed to question its leaders, not just submit to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
they weren't embedded. They weren't embedded. They were in bed with.
Exactly. I mean, you look at the first President Bush. During the same period of time, he had over 300 news conferences. This president has only had
somewhere, and she's going on about it. This was in Florida about. I think it's a little bit too late, you know. It's a little bit too late to turn back now, like Cornelius Brothers and Sister Rose might have said, if anybody wanted to buy that record. Here's a lady in Homestead. Hello.
Hey, look at this. We got everything under control.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, yeah. I just want to let you know I'm a proud mother of a young gentleman that just came back from Iraq a couple months ago, and he has to go back again next month, and he does not know why he's there. I can feel for every mother that has kids over there. And I have an 18-year-old who he's voting for the first time this year. And he surprised me when he said he was Democrat, going for Kerry all the way. I had to teach him your no, 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 yes, 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 yes. And I just want to let you know, coming up from Cutler Ridge, that I see I went to 2 polls, and I see nothing but Kerry signs.
Good.
All the way down US 1. Kerry, Kerry, Kerry. I had a lot of trouble with, I thought that this was going to be the hardest state for Kerry to win because of Jeb Bush.
Mm-hmm.
Bush didn't win nothing with Florida 4 years ago. He bought Florida thanks to his brother. He had help.
That's for sure.
There's nothing about it. He actually bought Florida. That's
Katherine Harris may be gone, but Glenda in the hood makes her look like a Sunday picnic.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, listen, I just want to say, listen, I know you like polls. And my boyfriend and I took our own polls yesterday from 1:30 to 6 o'clock. We counted every Bush sign and bumper sticker and every Kerry sign and bumper sticker.
Yeah.
We came up with Bush 14 to Kerry 52.
Oh!
From 1:30
That cinches it for me. Let's call off the election. I think you got the number.
He's got it. I have never in my life seen, I've been here 32 years, and I've never seen such a pull for one person for president in South Florida as I have for Kerry. Trucks going by with big old speakers or rapping about Kerry. The blacks, the Hispanics, they all got the trucks out with their speakers. I mean, US 1 is just nothing but a Democrat all the way.
Okay, good luck, sweetheart. Thanks.
Okay, baby.
Bye. 1246 at 560 WQAM. Florida, 410 votes. Which state do you think is going to be the most pivotal today? And Ohio, 212. Now, of course, tomorrow morning, early in the morning, they'll be changing votes. After they, oh, no, not tomorrow morning, tonight. They'll be voting on there. Oh, I think it's this one, kind of after the fact. But we'll leave it on there just to make a lot of people out there feel really smart, like Fredo. And then we'll take them out fishing. Right? Say a few Hail Marys. See, I was thinking, the deal I saw, did you see the CNN piece over the weekend about religion in America?
Yeah, well, I
saw it. They showed about 8 million times.
Right, yeah.
And they showed the baptism thing.
Right.
And there's that Getchke in the water with that big white robe on, and he's taking these kids and he's putting the over their mouth and submerging them under the water.
I did that.
And I was thinking to myself, see, the difference between like the born again Christians is the Catholics have more tchotchkes.
Right, more trappings.
Yeah, they're more trappings. They got the beads and they got the caps and they got all the mitre and the wafers and the wine and the all of these things. And of course
incense.
The altar boys.
Don't forget incense and
and peppermints. I guarantee you one thing, there wouldn't be any Catholic church without altar boys. I'll tell you that right now.
What would be the point?
You can bet the Pope's life on it. No, exactly. Here's a call from Las Vegas. It says, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm passing by your favorite casino right now. This is Mr. Viva Las Vegas, Bob Lincoln.
Bob Lincoln. Oh, my God, a voice from our distant past.
Absolutely.
How do you like that?
Everything. It's a dead-even tie here in Las Vegas. But the Mr. Cheney, Darth Vader was in town yesterday, so they must have been worried because he had to come back.
Yeah, they're worried because in the early voting, in the pre-voting, they had a lot more Democrats show up than Republicans, like thousands more.
Over 200,000 here in Clark County voted early, so which means trouble. But of course, the big issue here is Yucca Mountain. They want to stick all the nuclear waste 70 miles from.
That's the issue that's going to give that state to Kerry.
Yeah. They do. Well, that's good because.
No, I said that issue alone, that's what's going to put Kerry over the top in Nevada.
Oh yeah, well he spent plenty of time here. They were back and forth. As a matter of fact, they showed up the same day Kerry and Bush, and Kerry had way more people come out. But I think the telling factor was Philadelphia when Bill Clinton came out, and over 100,000 people showed up. Mm-hmm. That's got to tell you something. But anyway, I wanted to wish you a happy Kerry Day on the voting day, and I predict he will win. And hope to see you in Las Vegas soon.
So how are you doing out there? You losing your ass? I mean, you having a great time?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love it. It's there's real living, breathing people, and
brings back some memories, doesn't it? All of them bad.
567 daughter.
0560 pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. Almost wants to make me play some more of them Scotty Mac drop-ins, but I think I'll pass this time. Huh?
I'm hyperventilating.
Okay, good for you. What an idiot. Anyway, here's a call from Plantation, or Palm Beach. Well, they both begin with a P. Palm Beach, hello. And they're not there. Palm Beach, going once, going twice. Arrivederci. Let's try Kendall, hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Yes, sir. All right.
George, hi.
Yo, yo.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know I voted for the first time, voted for Kerry,
Yep.
and I'm proud of it. And just one more thing, Bill, I'm online. Call me.
Okay. All right. Whatever the hell that means. Here's a call from Coconut Creek. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Bob from
Sure it is.
Coconut Creek.
Yeah.
And I just would like to tell you that I am a 57-year-old Vietnam veteran. I'm voting for the first time, and I just voted for the first time in my life. I went through, I got hit by a claymore mine, I got a Purple Heart, I got Agent Orange throat cancer I went through 3 years ago, and I just got done voting for the first time, of which I am very proud of, and I voted for Mr. Kerry.
All right.
And I cannot see anybody in this country voting for a warmonger that kills 19 and 20-year-old kids for nothing.
Well said, Bob. Nice job.
Yeah.
I mean, you were ready to blow him off. You see every call.
Yeah,
now,
well, I think
is,
you cut him off. Just an orange thing got me all confused.
Oh. He'll do it every time. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. I'm a little bit nervous now looking at that. Yesterday I felt really very confident, and then I look at that electoral map today, and I'm getting a little queasy about it, you know?
Just relax, as someone would say.
Okay. No, but I mean, because we're seeing this humongous turnout all across the country, which is usually a good sign for the Democratic candidate.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, while the Republicans are working feverishly to try to suppress the turnout. See, that in itself should tell you what it's all about. In fact, if it were up to the Republicans, they would only allow the born-again Christians to vote. And that would be it. Born-again Christians and jocks. The flat earth crowd. People with an IQ even lower than the president. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami sounds dead as a doornail to me.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Yes, my name is Laura. My sister and I, Katie, voted early. We actually came down from Chicago to help out with the Kerry election. And
excellent.
Speaking about dumb as a doorknob, we were watching the news the other day, and the president was on a major network, and he was being interviewed by a newscaster, and when asked what states he thought he was going to win, he looked at him and he said, "What do you think I am, a prognosticator?"
Yeah, I saw that. It was the Tom Brokaw interview. I saw that, yeah.
Exactly. I couldn't find it in the dictionary. If only we could get a president that knew the English language.
Yeah, he's the best.
So we're
Okay,
out
thanks.
not to vote.
Thanks for helping us out.
No problem.
See ya.
Take care.
Yeah, Illinois, they don't need their votes because Kerry's going to win Illinois by a zillion miles. And, of course, Barack Obama is going to whip Alan Keyes' ass. Alan Keyes, I think, is certifiable. I think he belongs in an institution.
He's got a cookie.
He's got a cookie? Oh, he's kind of kooky? Yeah. He's tragic is what he is. Of course, he's not a carpetbagger. You understand that?
I do, yeah.
Here's a lady in Boca. Hello.
Neil, hi.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a pleasure talking to you today.
Yes, it is.
I just wanted to give you a voting report from Fascista Boca Raton.
Okay.
Everybody who I was in line with, we were all for Kerry. On the way out of the polls, talking to people, 5 people said they were voting Kerry, 1 Bush.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the way it's going in this town here where the wealth is incredible,
right.
That's a good barometer for the rest of the state.
How many young people did you see there? Because Boca generally is old Jews, you know, and whatever.
Not in the poll I was at. A lot of young people.
Great.
A lot of young people, and they were all voting Kerry. I took some time off work this week just to go out and get the word out for Kerry. It's an important duty that we have to vote. And I vote in every election, not just this one.
Right.
So, that's what makes America great, right?
As long as they continue having them. I was thinking they weren't all remaining 04s in stock, ready for immediate delivery, if not sooner. And all the 05s are in and ready to roll out. Plus, for a limited time, get yourself 0% financing on any of the following: Explorers, Escapes, Focuses, Tauruses, and Mustangs. Certain restrictions apply. The lots at Armstrong Ford Homestead are jammed like crazy, and with more 05s arriving every day, they're cutting prices now, and you're going to save a ton. Armstrong Ford offers more value to you, too, because when you buy your Ford there, you'll get their exclusive Tires and Batteries for Life program. You heard me right. Tires and Batteries for Life. So if you've been looking for a new car but been putting it off, wait no longer, because David Rich and the staff at Armstrong Ford Homestead will guarantee you the best price. And don't forget, because they're locally owned and operated, they want to make you a lifelong customer. They'll treat you just like family. You won't get a better deal on a Ford anywhere in town. No bait and switch, no phony deals or games, just the best prices anywhere. Armstrong Ford Homestead, you'll find them at 30725 South Dixie Highway. That's just 20 minutes south of the 836. Check them on the web at ArmstrongCars.com and then drive a little and save thousands on that new Ford at Armstrong Ford of Homestead.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Will be exploded. Saddam had people killed with the gas that we sold him. First time aggressor nation and the only one that's going. Now more blood will be spilled to get that oil flowing. Forget about Korea and the nukes they're toting, and the right wing is drilling it over and over into our heads that Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction.
I'm dying over here.
Only worse. Dead bodies they're scraping off every day over there. And we don't want you to see that any more than we want you to see those draped coffins of the kids coming back like they did in Vietnam in body bags. That's not good for business. So shame on the media, man. You people are a bunch of lunatics. Bunch of crazy people, bunch of total sellouts, including you, Bob Schieffer, there on CBS. I hope they drag your ass over to New Jersey, okay, and hang your ass from a tree.
Just
from an old oak tree. Just his ass, not the rest of him. In fact, that's probably what he's doing right now.
I'm dying over here.
And he's dyeing the beard a little bit darker. See, you weren't supposed to let me get all whipped up into a frenzy now.
Oh, come on, it's fun.
Oh. 5, 6, 7. And see, might as well do all of this heavy-duty stuff because we can't play anything anymore anyway. We can't do the fun and game stuff we used to do.
Right.
So might as well be screaming and hollering and pretending we're going to make a difference. Might as well be doing that.
Do
Can't
some
even play a
cornball
fart
stuff
sound
tomorrow.
anymore. That's the kind of country you live in right now. Can't even fart. And if you do fart and it's the wrong flavor, man, they're going to come knocking on your door at 3 o'clock in the morning and take your ass away just to make sure you don't do it again. Oh, look at this. Ditto on the internet connection dropping off. It's been going on for over a week. Well, nobody's been telling us about it, and how come this is going on? And you better raise holy hell about it in there, or not.
Oh, yeah.
Also, where's my cheap gas? And I'm glad that this faxer sent this in because thanks again, Mr. President, for those low gas prices. Okay? And only now, as we're approaching Election Day, and we're finally added here today, only now do we see this grotesque price of oil dropping to a little bit under $50 a barrel. It's dropping like a rock, like Iraq. And they keep talking about it. Last night, you know who they had on? Paul Lozano. They had Bob Graham, who did a good job, even though he's kind of boring listening to, in this town hall meeting in Kissimmee or wherever it was. Ralph Reed. You talk about a little nasty, beady-eyed evildoer, right-wing son of a bitch. That's Ralph Reed for you. And he starts giving a song and a dance about, oh, well, everything's going so great. And the audience was like hooting and hollering. They were like almost booed him off the stage. And then he went into this emotional thing about why we went into Iraq and how we have to spread democracy and how the people are going to get a chance to vote. And I'm thinking about, how about the people in Saudi Arabia, you grave robber? How about your business partners there in Saudi Arabia?
Shut up, commie.
Yeah, and Egypt. And Jordan. Are those people getting to vote?
No.
You bet your sweet ass they're not. The whole thing with this Bush family and the Saudis, I'm so glad that the Kerry people, it wasn't really them. It was one of those 527s that ran that campaign, those ads.
Right.
About Bush and the Saudis, man, that cozy relationship. That's where the chigger in the sand pile is, right there in Saudi Arabia. We ought to, like I've told you a million times, and I'll say it again, we ought to be over there right now, my ass. And how come Herbert Walker Bush had that meeting with the Carlyle Group, and Bush's brother was in on that meeting on the morning of September 11th? What were they talking about, do you think? So when people tell you a business deal gone bad, or whatever the hell it was really all about, you ain't heard nothing yet, okay? Why do you think they were so desperately trying to avoid the 9/11 Commission, any other investigations?
That's just a bunch of your lies.
Because they lie, and Colin Powell, who comes off, man, like squeaky clean every time. Because he's got that little light tan in his. I don't even think he's black. I think he's just got a suntan. Maybe too much time in the desert without a map. Lie like crazy, and here's the maps, and they got all the, and he's holding up that little test tube. God only knows what was in that test tube. I'm afraid to even conjecture what that might have been. 12 minutes after 1 at 560 WQAM. Right now I want to tell you about our good friends at Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach. With over 275 different mortgage programs available to them, they will find a mortgage for you no matter what your situation is. Recently, they helped one of our listeners who never thought he'd be able to qualify to buy his own home, but guess what? Not only were they able to qualify him, they also were able to present him 3 options as to the type of mortgage he could get. And they worked closely with him to determine which was best, and then they made it happen. Like Chicago said, we can make it happen. That's Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach at 1-800-734-6616. Whether you're looking for an interest-only loan, a 30-year fixed rate, or one of the many low-rate adjustable mortgages, Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach has what you need. In fact, they offer payments as low as $332 for every $100,000 you borrow. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach can make it happen for you, too, as far as your life, because not only will they take care of your mortgage, but they'll send you on a cruise. That's right. After closing your loan with Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach, you'll be able to choose one of 6 different 7-night cruises, compliments of Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers. So whether you're looking to purchase a new home, an investment property, or just refinance your current mortgage, these are the people you're going to be happy to do business with. 1-800-734-6616, or on the wicked web, it's GuaranteedMortgageBankers.com, where they'll treat you just like family. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers, Deerfield Beach. Call them today, 1-800-734-6616.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Miami Town.
Absolutely.
At 560 WQAM.
Coming up tonight on Inside the Behind the True Hollywood Celebrity Music Biography Profile Story. They were musical, and they were youths. No wonder they were called musical youth.
Pass the Dutchie was a remake of a reggae hit called Pass the Coochie. Well, and Coochie was a marijuana cigarette.
Gene Dipwad is the head of the Cultural Anthropology Department at a major university, which makes it okay for him to talk about black people.
I'm talking Mary Jane, hash, reefer, a doobie, Acapulco gold, tie stick. Ow! Sorry, got carried away there. So, musical youth changed it to Pass the Dutchie, which is a big iron cooking pot.
For his doctoral dissertation, Professor Dipwad went into the field to record a 1980s Rasta gathering, documenting the effects of both the original version of the song and the musical youth remake. First, passing the coochie.
And now the same Rasta gathering where they are passing the Dutchie, a boiling hot cast iron cooking pot.
Musical youth. We only hope they were high enough to kill the pain. It's a big, juicy, sopping wet look at show business tonight on Inside the Behind.
118 at 560 WQM. I think we got you, Joyce. I think we finally figured out a word that you can't send, at least not yet.
Well, until you ask her.
Dutchie bag.
Or Dutchie bag.
No, Dutchie bag. I like that.
Well,
anyway,
like
833 votes on the poll. Which state do you think will be the most crucial in the election today? They're turning out in record numbers from coast to coast, from pillar to post. They're lining up like crazy, which generally don't mean they're real happy with the status quo. Florida, 479. Ohio, 241. And that's it. Basically, our audience thinks it's them two, and after that, it's small taters. Pennsylvania, 31. Don't know, 29. Don't care, 28. Hawaii, 10. New Jersey, 5. Michigan, 4. Wisconsin, 4. And Iowa, 2. I could have probably put Colorado and New Mexico on there, too, but why bother, right?
Right.
No. New Mexico, I think Kerry's going to win New Mexico. The last poll again shows him a little bit ahead. About 6 votes. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Neil. I just want to let you know, anybody that hasn't voted yet, Imperial Point, you can go vote there. There's no line.
Okay.
And I also seen the greatest campaign poster.
Yeah.
It said, vote Bush, Cheney. Uncle Osama wants you. That's all I got.
Okay. What? Here's Harry in North Miami who says, speaking of Bob Schieffer's connection to the Bush family, his brother Tom Schieffer, former president of the New York Rangers, his longtime business partner George Bush, and you were absolutely correct. I had a story on that last week. That is correct. Bob Schieffer. Oh, if it's close in New Jersey or Bush will win, it's going to be a long night for John Kerry. That was the essence of his analization, okay? And I think analization is the operative term in terms of Bob Schieffer. Who are you kidding, man? It's just amazing. And then Tim Russert, of course, who pretends to be a journalist. When the thing came out about the device on Bush's back, And the fact that he was being coached during the debates, he let them get away. Mark Rasico, you know, that beady-eyed...
Nazi from Montana?
Right, that's the one.
It's pronounced Roscoe.
Whatever the hell his name is. So he gets on, and of course all they always do is make a joke out of it. Oh, no, he was talking to people from Mars. You know, it's a big joke.
Uranus,
and he lets him off the hook, and he, you know, gets all red-faced again like he always does, Tim Russell, because he's Irish and probably, like, boozes it up pretty good. Of course, if you were from Buffalo, you'd booze it up good, too. 5-6. Oh, there's Colorado.
Now, election officials say they have never seen anything like this before.
Good. See, that was every state. Every state, they're turning out in droves. And let me just tell you, I didn't say Karl Rove. I said drove, as in drove them out of the White House permanently, and will never let right-wing extremists back in. Let me say it one last time, okay? Unless you're a right-wing, either millionaire or right-wing Bible-thumping flat earth lunatic, you have no business whatsoever voting for W. For these band of merry Nazis, okay?
Well, he's better on terror.
Yeah.
Terror.
Terror is the word. Every time I think of him, terror comes into my heart.
Terror.
Here's a call from, what is it, Dania. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how's it going?
Okay, sir.
First off, I guess the last caller said something about no lines at a polling. You have to poll in your district, don't you, today? You can't just go to... You can't just go to one...
You have to vote where you're supposed to vote, right.
Yeah, you can't just go to an empty one. I mean,
right.
That would cause big problems. Another thing, did my part a week and a half ago, voted for Kerry, and my Cubanita wife voted today for Kerry.
All right.
So, yeah, we're making headway.
The word get out.
Exactly. And now, to this electoral vote site you got here,
yeah.
You know, it also mentions, if you read below, that they used Gallup-Zogby yesterday in Ohio and Wisconsin.
Oh.
Today, though, they're using Fox News/Opinion Dynamics in Ohio and Wisconsin.
Why are they doing that?
Okay. I
guess the reason they're doing that is because it's the most recent poll.
I think that's what it is. It's the most recent poll. And they did the same thing in New Jersey. New Jersey, they're using a strategic vision, and there's an R in parentheses next to it. So you know what that means.
Republican polling.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, if you look at the New Jersey breakdown, it's 42, 42, and 1. So you're telling me that there's 15% in
Unrossed everything, man. Crisscross. I'm holding up a cross. I'm holding up my big crucifix to keep away them evil spirits, okay? The Spirit of Christ compels me. Oh, yeah, the religious thing, man. That's the biggest problem with America, and I'll say it again. You weren't there yesterday. I want to repeat it for your benefit. You know Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, that drooling redneck senator from South Carolina?
Yeah.
He was on with one of Larry King's panels over the weekend, whatever the hell night it was. And inadvertently, here's this born-again, this Bible-thumping little rednecky twerp from South Carolina who looks a lot like Bob Neal from Cox Broadcasting, a real redneck. And he said, he's talking about Iraq and the whole thing with the terrorism, and he said, well, the whole thing is about religious fanaticism. That's what we're fighting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, thank you, Lindsey Graham, for being the one person that's got the balls to actually say that. Because Kerry, unfortunately, every time they bring up religion, he feels he's got to be in a peeing contest with Bush to see who can be the most devout and talk about everything that stems from God and all this other. Because that's the American effing way, man. You can't indicate you're not as devout as the other guy. It's a peeing contest, like I said. But there's little rednecky Lindsey Graham. Even a redneck Yahoo like him knows it's about religious fanaticism, not just meaning extreme Islam, but, of course, religious fanaticism of any other kind, meaning Orthodox Jews, born-again Christians, Bible-thumping lunatics that want to bring us back to the flat earth days again.
Hey, can I send a message out to Daniel Cohen, the retard who keeps faxing continuously these really childish drawings? Stop.
Daniel Cohen?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take away your tzitzis if you don't cut the crap out, Danny. Now, Karen in Boynton says, wondering about Bob Schieffer, check out the above website link, dailyhowler.com. His brother is a Bush-appointed ambassador and was a partner of W's in the Texas Rangers. Karen says, Kerry in a landslide. Oh! Nice going, Karen. And Paula says, all over the place. But I feel better after that last caller because he makes a good point, and that is that electoral map thing, they use all different kinds of polls.
Right.
Kind of like Screw Ann used to. Won't see her no more. Paula says, I waited 2 hours to vote this morning in Lauderdale Lakes. The wait was made a little bit easier by the antics of neutral observers. One of them was a wannabe condo commando. They were wearing white windbreakers and wearing sunglasses. The only thing missing was the plug in the ear, and you would have sworn they were from the Secret Service. Oh, great. If the challengers don't get you, then the condo commandos will.
Oi!
Proud to say I voted Kerry Edwards and for Amendment 4. Vote early and often, says Paula, long-time listener. Thanks, Paula. Love you, sweetheart. Good job. I'm feeling pretty good about it right now, you know what? Not confident.
I am.
Like I said, I'm feeling very confident that somebody's going to win. 26 past 1 at 560 WQM. When you shop for quality footwear, great selection, professional service, unbeatable prices, there's only one place people love to shop. That's Brandy Shoes in Pompano Beach. No off-brands, baby. None of those shoes that nobody ever heard of before. They have the top quality names you know and love. And your feet love, too. Rockports, Florsheim, SAS, Sperry, Timberland, Naturalizer, all the other top names in the shoe business. Now, Brandy's is open every day from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m., Monday through Saturday, and every Sunday 10 to 5. And you'll find them at 1290 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. They've been going strong at that same location for years and years. While the other shoe folks have come and gone, when they dropped the other shoe, Brandy's is still going strong. And right now is a great time to buy Florsheim all this week at Brandy's because all great men's styles are an extra 20% off the already unbeatable prices. So be sure and come in the store this week or visit them on that wicked web at brandysshoes.com.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Howard David's a bitch.
Oh, I'd like to know who won the election. Said I'd like to know who won the election. Count the vote, baby, count the vote over, count the vote, baby, count the vote over, count the vote. Ever since this presidential race began, I've often wondered who was going to win. Some Palm Beach people went to do their voting chore. So count up all the ballots and find out who's gotten more. Those old folks seem to have one thing in common. Looks like lots of them just gave their votes to Patrick Buchanan. So I'd like to know who won the election. Yes, I'd like to know who won the election. Count the vote, baby, count the vote over, count the vote. The final tabulation started coming in. Then I saw a news flash on Channel 10. Some angry people all together in a bunch. They said they were confused and didn't know which hole to punch. Those old folks seem to have one thing in common. Looks like lots of them just gave their votes to Patrick Buchanan.
Oh, my God.
Oi! So I'd like to know who won the election. Said I'd like to know who won the election. Oh, I'd like to know who won the election. Yes, I'd like to know who won the election. Count the vote, baby, count the vote over, count the vote, baby, count the vote over, count the vote, how many for Bush, count the vote, how many for Gore, count the vote, how many for Bush, count the vote, are there any more, count the vote, they messed up the ballot, count the vote.
In Columbus, Ohio, police said a crude flyer telling Republicans to vote Tuesday and Democrats to vote Wednesday was apparently distributed in some areas.
Cute.
Isn't that cute? Wow. Anyway, polls opened early today to long lines of voters, some of whom had camped outside overnight, waiting to cast a ballot in one of the most tightly contested presidential elections in recent history. How many votes are they going to win by?
About 30, man.
The candidates Bush and Kerry prepared to wait out the long day of voting, even longer than the night of ballot counting. President Bush cast his vote in Crawford, Texas this morning at the Crawford Fire Department near his ranch. He entered the polling place with First Lady Laura Bush and their two obnoxious drunken daughters. Now. His two obnoxious drunken daughters. Strategists from both parties agree that the election will hinge on voter turnout. Both have invested heavily during the campaign and get out the vote efforts. New voter sign-ups could make history, it says here. How do you like that? Democratic challenger Senator John Kerry started his day with campaign events in Wisconsin. Is scheduled to vote. He already did. We just got through seeing it. In Boston at 1 o'clock. Afterward, in a personal election day tradition, Kerry plans to have lunch at the city's Union Oyster House. Well, I wonder if that's kin to the old New England Oyster House. Boy, that was a chain. It was great. But I'm sure it's not. Kerry kept campaigning Tuesday, starting his day with events in Wisconsin. Asked by a reporter what his thoughts are now that the campaign is finished, Kerry replied, "It's not over yet. Still working till 8 p.m. tonight," he said. You go, John. Here's a fact that says, when I heard Bob Lincoln, I got a chill, so when are we going to Vegas again? Oh, yeah, my answer to that is the man with the eyeball is shining the eye and getting ready for a recount in Palm Beach. The judge with the eye, with that wicked eye, they're still showing that this year over and over again.
Sure, he was great.
Gary Bettman said the season might be canceled. Yes on that. Bring back the brainstem. No on that. And go Jets. Did I hear you say Mad Dog was a Bushman and he still has hope for the Dolphins? Well, whatever. He claims to be, but I don't believe it. I know he gave money to Bob Graham, and he, of course, won't admit that because Bobby Graham was a Democrat. But nevertheless, those jocks have got to put up that big facade. Oh, I'm for Bush. He's great, our commander-in-chief. I'm a Republican. I'm macho. Yeah, it's not what I hear. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. Here's a lady in Delray Beach. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Neil. I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener.
All right.
Being on a bench in Delray, oi. And I wanted to say I have never voted in my 29 years of life, and I voted this time, inspired by you.
Good.
And all the evildoers of the world.
Excellent.
And I hope John Kerry wins, because if he doesn't, we'll be speaking Ebonics. If Bush
John Kerry doesn't win, I'm going to have to meet a lot of you folks at the border when you come up here.
Well, that's all I have to say, and I wanted to say one last thing. George Bush is a douchebag.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
She said George Bush is a doochie bag, is what she said.
That's right. Pass the doochie.
Isn't that childish? We had to dump that. Nice lady, young lady like that. Hey, Joyce, we can't stand you, honey, okay, over there in Naples. Joyce, the word police, the Nazi police. Boy, you talk about what facts that just came in. It says it's pretty simple, this election. President Bush is spending billions of dollars in Iraq to secure oil for his fellow warlords. The excuse was that 2,900 people were killed in New York. Don't get me wrong. I'm sympathetic to all the tragic losses that came in so many manifestations of grief that day and continue to occur. But doesn't someone on the level of the Capitol understand that we're pouring money into Iraq by the billions and that it isn't even adequate to protect our own troops? The U.S. troops that were once considered invincible are now viewed as ill-equipped, while in the meantime, we're forcing the young and the old of our own country into hunger, misguided education, misguided leadership, unemployment, despair, heartache, depression. When will the emperor destroy the empire? It says. I think around 10:30 tonight he'll be done. The emperor will have no clothes. Although he might have one of them wires on his back. Just keep looking at them pictures on there on our website. You really need to take a look at it. No, seriously, you're laughing at it.
Yeah, well, it's ridiculous.
Here's another one of them sellout Schwarzers.
About Vietnam and now this war against terrorism, I just don't see any ending in sight. I think you could see violence.
This is pathetic. This is so sad. The blacks and Jews for Bush. Man, I'm going to tell you, it's like blacks for David Duke and Jews for Hitler. Same difference. There is no difference whatsoever. A sellout, man. An establishment sellout. You ought to be ashamed of. What's his name? Armstrong Williams, something like that? He probably just painted on. He probably is as white as the fallen snow. Probably did that dark face. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm voting for Kerry. My name is Gary Mark from Fort Lauderdale. I'm a former Marine, and a lot of us vets are for Kerry. And my opinion is George Bush, he has a punk and a con man. The punk is Arnold Schwarzenegger from Governor of California. If he don't look like a faggot, he talks like one. He's on the Bush's payroll, you know. And then you got former Mayor Giuliani. I give him all respect for his leadership and everything else. But you listen to the way his interview was on 60 Minutes the other day. He talks just like a con man, very fast.
Yeah.
He has answers for every
Talks out of the
question.
corner of his mouth like the Godfather.
Yeah, you know, he's a con man.
Right.
And then you had Kitty Keller, who was on Matt Laurel, the Today Show News. George W. Bush is in Camp David snorting cocaine while his father was president of the United States. Now, give me a break.
Right.
You know, and he's quit drinking, but that's okay for him to snort cocaine. I hope Kerry wins and help
I hope
Bush.
Jim Kerry wins and makes a lot of funny faces for us, too. It'll give us a much better sense of humor. 21 till 2. He's a good Canadian boy, by the way, Jim Kerry. What's wrong with Canadian for American president? What do you say? How about Jean Chrétien? I'll tell you one thing. They may knock Jean Chrétien, but at least he was one of the first ones to It didn't take a genius to figure it out. Say that publicly Bush was a moron.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, you were, don't realize it, but the crap that he took here for that. And then his one of his assistants said the same thing. And she was absolutely correct, okay? Canadians are on to Bush. They understand. The French, the Germans, the British. Forget about Tony Blair. I'm talking about the British people. The Italians, the Spaniards that voted that election was all swayed based on the fact that they don't want any part of this crap.
The Spaniard.
The Spaniard, the whatever the hell they are.
Españoles.
The Catalan.
The
Danes, the Swedes, the Norwegians, the Finns, the Ukrainians, the Polacks. All of them. They're onto it. How come it is that there's so many stupid, I'm going to tell you again, it's that good old-time religion again. Oh, he said, by God. They're just as dumb as he is. That's what it is. The flat earth crowd. The hate mongers. IRS tax problems have a way of ruining all aspects of your life. You knew that. They can take a toll on you financially, physically, and emotionally. You can never really forget about those IRS problems. They come back every morning when you wake up in a cold sweat. But CPA Jamie Buchwald and the Buchwald Tax Firm can help you end your IRS problems forever and give you back some peace of mind. That's why other top CPA and law firms refer their clients to the Buchwald Tax Firm when they've got IRS problems. Why not avoid potential criminal prosecution? Get all your unfiled tax returns prepared, even if you lost all your records. Suppose you have an IRS lien, a wage levy, owe payroll taxes and penalties. Maybe you'd like to settle for thousands less than you owe or need time to pay. Whatever your problem is, the Buchwald Tax Firm can help you out. They offer a free initial consultation, affordable and guaranteed fees, and immediate, if not sooner, relief from IRS harassment. And best of all, you never even have to meet with the IRS because the Buchwald Tax Firm handles all meetings and discussions. You don't even have to be there. So call them today. No obligation. Call 954-575-2800 and they'll straighten you out. 954-575-2800. Whether you owe $10,000 or $1 million in IRS taxes, the Buchwald Tax Firm can help you. Call them today for that free consultation or visit them on the web at irsfreedom.com and stop worrying about the IRS knocking that front door down. Call them 954-575-2800.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively. QAM.
Jeb Bush. Hey, tomato!
George Bush, there's a place you can land so that you can.
Is that at those meetings, with the invasion of Iraq and the dividing of spoils was promised to the oil cartel. P.S. Where's Harold Stassen and Pat Paulson when you need them? Well, we may not have them, Sean, but at least we got Lyndon LaRouche. Right?
Yeah.
So it isn't all doom and gloom.
And Dan Rather.
And Bob Schieffer.
Yeah.
Right, whose brother's a business partner of Bush and et cetera and so on. But nevertheless, don't confuse people with the facts. We know that Bob Schieffer is really very, very right down the middle, right? Not?
Sure.
Hey, Bob, we don't wish you any ill health, but if you croak tomorrow, we'd have a party. In fact, maybe we can have like a dual use party, celebrate Kerry victory and Bob Schieffer croaking. Which state do you think will be the most crucial in this election is our poll question. 963 votes. Florida 535, Ohio 284. That's it. No, those two way ahead of everybody else.
I just cast my ballot. My donors cast theirs. It's the great gift of our democracy. This campaign has been an amazing journey, a wonderful journey. The American people have opened their homes, their hearts to us, all of us. They've brought us in, shared their struggles, and now the campaign comes to an end and the American people are going to decide. I'm very confident that we've made the case for change, the case for trust in new leadership, a new direction, a fresh start. But what's really important is that both the President and I love this country. It's really important that people go out and vote and express their love for our country, no matter who they vote for.
And our contempt and hatred for George W. Bush and his band of neo-Nazis.
Let me just say that whatever the outcome tonight, I know one thing that is already an outcome. Our country will be stronger, our country will be united, and we will move forward, no matter what, because that's who we are as Americans, and that's what we need to do. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your part of this journey. It's really been a great experience.
There you go. John Kerry just voted in Massachusetts. How do you like that?
A rat.
Yeah, pretty, just what they always say, all the old trite cliches. What he should have said is, if Bush wins, it's going to be a disaster. He's still got some time here, right?
Right.
Still got several hours. That's exactly what he should have said. That's what Howard Dean would have said. Howard Dean would have kicked some serious ass. He'd have said, boy, if you don't vote for me, man, if you put that lunatic, that lying drunk, that coke-snorting drunk back in there for another 4 years, we're going to go to hell in a handbasket. But we have to be very refined and very dignified because it's America. Here's a call from Hollywood. Hello.
Yeah, hello, sir. When Bill Clinton lied, nobody died. Do people know that?
Thanks, Woody.
Yeah, okay, Woody. Hey, Woody, let me just say this to you, okay? If you died, you and Bob Schieffer on the same day sounds like a hell of a package deal. Here's Miami. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Great show as always.
Yes, it is.
Let me tell you, I'm feeling so much better than 4 years ago, the afternoon of the election. How about you?
Why do you say that? 4 years ago?
Well, you were still thinking at this time whether Florida was going to go. Who knew? Kerry has his act together, and I wanted to say that any of the doubts that I had...
whispering into his ear and his rear. And he still winds up getting trampled in all three debates by every single count, every poll. You went online after those debates, and it was like just overwhelming until the Freepers got on overnight early in the morning hours, making it look a little more respectable. But it was overwhelming that he got trashed. Isn't that something? What does that tell you? You're talking about a guy that's got an IQ larger than his thumb size, John Kerry, against the guy that owes points. He's in a minus column, dumber than sawdust, than a box of freaking rocks. This is what you can relate to? Reminds me of that caller we had after the 2000 election. Remember? I'll never forget it.
Mm-hmm.
And he told us he voted for Bush over Gore because he just couldn't relate to those people who voted for Gore. Well, if you, after all of this, after things like
Abu Ghraib,
if you can relate to the people who are voting for Bush, well, all I can say is exactly. Anyway, it's 152 at 560 WQAM. Hey, if you want to know more about following a low-carb diet, if you want the best tasting, the biggest selection of low-carb foods at the best price, here's a story you are absolutely going to fall in love with. The Delights of West Boca. I've been telling you about them for a very long time. Whether you're starting or restarting any of those low-carb diets, the Atkins, the Sugar Busters, South Beach, any low-carb, sugar-free diet, this is a store you're going to love because their entire store is dedicated to you. Unlike your supermarket that's got like maybe part of one shelf with a few low-carb items on it, and that's it. Delights entirely, like I said, is devoted to you with zillions of products, over 1,200 products in stock, low-carb goodies that you'll really enjoy, give you variety and taste, like Carbolite ice cream, breads, pasta, chocolates, brownies, cookies, and lots more. Delights is open every day, 7 days a week from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. You'll find Delights on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next to Boston Market, or call them toll-free at 1-877-LOW-CARB. That's LOWCARB, or on the Wicked Web, it's lowcarb.com. Don't forget, a lot of stores with similar names, but there's only one Delights of West Boca, and it's your official Atkins Retail Center.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and midday. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
God! Where'd that extra spot come from?
What extra spot?
Well, we'll go a minute over. Too bad. Sorry, Mad Dog. Nah. Get out there and vote. Do it, folks. Once for Kerry, once for Edwards, once for Neil, once for George, once for Josh, and once for yourself.
Are you optimistic about the way that things are going?
No.
Don't you ever worry when you see what's going down. Well, I'm trying to mind my business, that is no business at all. When it's time to function as a feeling human being with your bachelor